Hello, beautiful people. My name is Davi. I'm joined by Abe and Charlie, and welcome back to the Redox Cinema Podcast.
We haven't called that.
We haven't called that in so long. Yeah. And the reason I'm saying welcome back is because we actually started as a podcast at first.
Yes.
And then we moved to YouTube, and now we want to kind of do a balance of both, where we have this monthly stream where we come in here and we talk to you guys and answer the questions that you guys sent to us in the community chat, and just go for it. But before we get into this, everyone here, I hope you guys are doing well. Send some highs, send some hellos. What's up, guys? How you doing?
What up? How you doing?
And also, Abe, Charlie, how you guys doing in this afternoon?
Good, we're good.
Good.
Hopefully you guys can hear us fine.
Yeah, let us know how the video's coming through, audio's coming through.
YouTube's telling me that there's an error, but OBS is telling me it's fine. So I don't know.
So let's hope that it's all good.
Rely on. Yeah.
But yeah, let us know if it's not, because then we'll fire Charlie. Just kidding. We could never do that, because then
we would actually be screwed.
Looks like it's good. Thank you, Joel.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Before we do anything, actually, I like how you started off with saying where we started. I wasn't there at the beginning, so can y'all tell that story of like where this idea came from?
Oh my
Redox Cinema?
God,
I feel like that would be a cool context thing for people to have.
Davi had a school project.
Yes. So I was in a podcast class. So one semester I took a class in podcasting, and I knew Charlie had an idea for something around film and doing a podcast around film. And I reached out to Charlie and I said, "Hey, Charlie, can we work on this? Like, can you help me and we can actually start this going for my class project as well?" He said, "Yeah." And I was like, "Can I use the name Redox Cinema? Because I think it's so different, and also what redox is a chemical reaction, right? And I feel like that's what film is, right? Film and TV is when you're watching it, you get a reaction through it. And if it's emotional, if it's funny, whatever it is, that is what I think film encompasses. And it was started as a podcast where I would edit on GarageBand.
That's great. Wait, hold on. How long ago was this? Like, what year?
This was 2021.
Dang.
This was 2021.
So 3 years ago.
3 years ago. Yes.
That's wild. That is wild.
And then as we started improving, Charlie was like, "Yo, let's start investing." Right? We bought microphones. We bought a table to do a roadcaster. And after that, I mean, we started as a podcast, and then we brought you in one day. Yep. We said, "Hey, we're gonna do our top 10 films of 2022. Do you want to join us and also be part of the podcast?" Yeah. And he said, "Yeah." And then
because I would just talk movies on the side with you guys anyway.
So then we were like, "Why don't we just bring you in?"
Yeah. And this is when we were purely audio.
Yes.
Right? Only on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So there was nothing really on YouTube at all.
No.
We didn't even we had a YouTube channel ?
We did.
But it just was for nothing. But we did the Oscars live stream.
Yes. So then we did the Oscars live stream. That's when we hit YouTube. But then we stopped. We still continued with podcasting.
Yeah.
And then after that, The Last of Us.
Yep.
That was our
January 2023.
Yes, January 2023. The Last of Us released, and Charlie came up with the idea of doing a reaction to it, and also having that discussion podcast right at the end where we dive into the episode and we have a first reaction discussion, and we loved it. And then after The Last of Us, we were like, "Hey, let's continue this. Let's keep it going." And there was 3 shows that were releasing after The Last of Us. It was Ted Lasso, Succession, actually The Mandalorian, and
House of the Dragon.
Well, House of the Dragon had already come out.
Had already come out.
This was like, and then Yellow Jackets, I think that's the name of the show.
Yep.
We asked our audience on Instagram, "Hey, what show you guys wanted to do next?" But then we just picked Succession. And then after picking Succession, we got an audience. And people started subscribing and following, and it's been a ride from there. I feel like the journey started after Succession.
Shout out to the Succession OGs. If there's anybody that's around still from Succession, appreciate you still being here. I remember that we started that out, and then we started getting couple subscribers here and there, and then we reached 100.
That was big.
That
was so big.
And like we're still a relatively small channel, like, but I mean for where we started, 2.65K is solid for us, and we're super thankful that we even have like a community to talk to and people to be with us when we react to things and listen to our thoughts, whether they're good or bad. It's cool. It's cool to just have that sort of community. So shout out to all of y'all, whether you came from Succession, whether you came from The Sopranos or any other thing that we did. Shout out to you and thank you for the support.
Yes. Yeah, it's been actually crazy. And I think the reason why we wanted to return to this format as well, in addition, we're not stopping reactions.
No.
But in addition to it is because we want to connect with our audience. We want to have conversations with you guys, and we want to just talk film and talk TV. I think that's something we're missing in our channel right now. And I think this can be a moment where you guys can come in, ask questions, and we can just have fun. That's the purpose of it, is have fun. And hopefully like we get out of here with a new perspective on how people see film, how people see TV.
Mm-hmm. This one comes from I think it's Lee or Eli. I don't know. Sorry if I'm saying your name incorrectly. I remember you guys' Succession reactions and when you started Barry and Sopranos. So that's pretty OG.
Yeah, our audience suggest the Succession crowd recommended Barry and Sopranos.
Yep.
So that's how we got into that.
Echo AI says, I've been here since Succession, stayed for Sopranos. Now I'm down for anything. That is fire.
Wow.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
We're down for anything too. So let us know. Oh, this is a great. Did you see this? Did you guys see the Iron Claw for film of 2023 for me?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh my God. Do we want to okay, let's dive into it.
Just riff off this. Yeah.
Let's riff. Yeah. So the Oscars are coming up, and the Iron Claw was a film that didn't get any Oscar nomination. Nothing. It got no recognition. It got, even for the Golden Globes, it got nothing. And
Can you tell us why that is? Because I still don't understand what happened there.
Okay, this is my understanding of it. Okay. So A24, the studio, what you have to do as a studio, as a company, you have to campaign the film. You have to make billboards. You have to send it into union magazines where people can look at the film and then know that, okay, this is the film I want to vote for. So you have to continuously be marketing the film. But due to Iron Claw being released in the end of December, A24 had already chosen Past Lives and The Zone of Interest to market for the Oscars and for award contention. So A24 being a smaller studio, they can't put a lot of funds into campaigning for a ton of films. I think that's how it works.
Interesting.
So with the fact that since they're a smaller studio, and also with how campaigning works, and also releasing this film end of the year, it lost the momentum to even get nominated for something.
Wild.
And I think it just goes to show that usually films that release in December get Oscar nominations, but now I think that's changing, where you kind of have to release it in November, October. That is your window, because if you release it in December now, you may lose on that marketing window or that campaign window, because people are already watching films. And you know, there is so many with streaming now. There's so many movies coming out.
Yeah, there is.
So you have to, as someone who gets to vote, I feel like you have to watch over 250 movies a year, which I don't even think they do.
No,
I don't think they do.
They definitely do. There's no way. There's absolutely no way.
But yeah,
on the Iron Claw specifically, I'll give my opinion, bro. That movie was incredible. Yeah, incredible. The casting, first of all, was insane. I like it. I'm trying to think now. Is it the best Zac Efron performance I think I've ever seen? I think it is.
Yes,
hands down.
Yes,
yeah, for sure.
Hands down.
Bro, so good. Anytime that you can get a movie that makes like grown men cry like that is like peak for me. And I think one of the things that I heard people say, and I don't know if it's 100% true, is that they had to like tone down the movie.
Yeah.
Some of the things in the movie, like being less emotional, and some of the details that were awful about the family, they didn't include to make it more realistic. But like in reality, the family actually went through like so much more than what they actually showed on screen. But yes, that movie was incredible, man, and it deserves a lot of praise. And it has been getting a lot of praise, and I hope that the people who made that film and the people who were in that film like feel that praise even outside of the award stuff, because it was really, really incredible what they did. And Echo AI says here, Jeremy Allen White hitting banger to banger, 100%.
Yeah, no,
he's so good.
He has another movie coming out as well. I think he's in that Bike Riders film with
Oh,
Austin.
he is?
Yeah, I think he's in that
Austin
movie
Butler.
with Austin Butler.
Yep.
Jodie Comer.
Mhm.
Yeah, his trajectory right now is insane.
Yeah.
With the projects that he's working on. And staying with the Iron Claw real quick, I think what the film did so well was balancing and hyping up the film in the sense of there's moments that were the montage of Tom Sawyer that was beautiful, the rock song, and then also showcasing again a lot of mental health issues that we face, and I think that was amazing and beautifully done.
Yeah. Joel said here there was another brother who committed suicide taken out of the film for repetitiveness.
Yes.
That's crazy, bro. That is insane. But yeah, that movie was so good. And Joel follows up with, if you guys want to know the full story, there's a great docuseries called Dark Side of the Ring that did an episode on the Von Erichs.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen it?
I haven't, but a friend of mine told me about it.
Word.
He's seen it.
Might have to check it out.
He's very much into wrestling still, and so he knows the Von Erich story. He knew it was a true story. For me, I went into it
Not knowing the family at all.
not knowing the family at all,
Same.
understanding that it's based on a true story and stuff. But then like when you watch the reality of what the true story is, you're just like, dude, how?
Yeah.
This family is like so, I guess, cursed.
Yeah.
Like it's horrible. It's horrible.
I'm not surprised that there's a whole docuseries on like the darker stuff that happens in wrestling, because like even growing up, we were big WWE fans, like, and seeing, like, I remember Chris Jericho and like everything that happened like in that sense.
Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah. Like there was a lot of stuff that was even the Hardy brothers. I think there was a lot of stuff going on in the background that like people didn't really expand on. You don't know when you see people performing and all this stuff, but when you read into the when you see what's happening in the background and people actually like reveal, there's a lot of stuff. And that's just the entertainment industry in general, right? It's not just wrestling. It's Hollywood, it's TV. Once you're on a platform, like it's a lot of pressure. And then the familial pressure too, like with the Von Erichs, like there's a lot of familial pressure, which adds a whole different layer.
Yeah, when the father says he has a whole power ranking of his favorite kids,
bro,
that was insane.
I was like, yep, these kids are fucked up, 100%. These kids are messed up.
Like, come on,
1000%.
And staying on the topic of Oscars, I'm just wondering. This question comes from me. I really hope I don't butcher this name, but it's Miera Valles Castro. Asked what movie you're going for at the Oscars. Yeah.
Like, what do you want to win?
Who you want to win Best Picture? Who do you want?
Oh.
Who you're voting for at the Oscars?
Films and actors, or just
anything? The Oscars in general. Who you rooting for?
I mean, the obvious is Oppenheimer. I mean, I feel like I don't even have to root for Oppenheimer at this point, though. Like, it's just like it's a given. So like, I'll be happy when they inevitably win pretty much almost everything that they're nominated for. But it's like one of those things that's worth it. I'm trying to think of what else. I'm really rooting for Anatomy of a Fall, bro.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm really rooting. Like, it does have hype within film circles for people who haven't seen Anatomy of a Fall. It's a foreign film. It's French, but it actually, a good portion of it is in English also. But we saw that movie at the New York Film Festival back in October, and I was floored by that movie. And I believe it won Cannes. And bro, the Sandra Hüller, who's the star of that film, she's also starring in The Zone of Interest. She's a force. She's an absolute force. And I think that if Lily Gladstone wasn't in this like category, and if Killers of the Flower Moon hadn't happened, I would have like wanted her to win for sure. So Anatomy of a Fall is a great one that I'm really rooting for. Oppenheimer is a big shoe-in for me for a lot of stuff. What about you?
For me, I really hope Justine Triet, who's the director of Anatomy of a Fall, takes home original screenplay. I think that is the category I'm looking for the most, because I know it's going to be an Oppenheimer day. I loved Oppenheimer, by the way, y'all. I don't want to say how many times I saw it in theaters.
This man did the calculation the other day of how many hours he spent watching Oppenheimer just in the theaters. Just in the theaters, because he also has the Blu-ray. That's a whole different thing. Just in the theaters, Debbie. Tell them how many hours that you watched Oppenheimer.
I'm about to get roasted.
No, please share with the class.
A full 24 hours.
Imagine spending
7 times,
8 times.
8 times.
Imagine spending a full day. Because here's the thing: if there was a way that this man could just stay awake and didn't have to eat, didn't have to go to the bathroom, nothing, like I swear to God, he would watch this movie on loop. like no problem, just over and over and over and over. And Dune Part 2, which we'll talk about later, there's a whole discussion portion to that. This man saw it back to back on Friday. He went at 3:00.
I went at 3:00 and then I went to the 7:00 showing.
The people came in to clean the theater, and he was sitting there, and he was like, "Can I just stay? Because I'm in the next showing." They're like, "Get the hell out of here, bro! Get back in line." They're like, "This is the commitment to cinema for the stuff that this man enjoys." And like, I gotta commend you. You're also a little bit crazy for that, but I love it.
I just say cinema. It's to keep cinema alive. That's what I say. That's what I tell everyone. When everyone's like, "Why do you do this?" Cinema.
Bro, the theaters are dying. David is single-handedly saving them, bro. He's watching them a million times. See that box office number going up? It's just David continuing to watch the movie. That's all that it is.
Yeah, because, it does scare me because, in the next 10 to 20 years, I fear that maybe we won't have movie theaters anymore. I think that's something that I'm worried about.
That's an interesting topic. So I think that was valid at one point.
Okay.
But here's my take on it, and I would encourage the people who are watching to chime in, and you guys too. I think that the more that we've progressed and the more we're getting like newer and newer technologies, you see a lot more in general us reverting to older stuff. I'll give you a clear example. Vinyl. Vinyl was like, nobody bought vinyl for like the longest time. Now people don't even have vinyls, like buy it for collection. People now have record players. They listen to it in that sense. And then also like the way that people are creating films, and like the best filmmakers now are like really pushing the point of like, watch it on the biggest screen. This is filmed for IMAX, like all of that. So like, it's almost like if you want to enjoy the film, and maybe this is a little bit of bias because we come from like loving film background. So we want to see it in that kind of platform, but wanting to see it on the best absolute format, like you have to go to the theaters to do that.
Yes.
And I think there's a little bit of that. Like there definitely is now a change in culture where people just, it's streaming. I have paid for Netflix. I pay for whatever. So like, I'm just going to, instead of going to the theaters, I'm just going to throw on the latest Netflix movie, which there are some that are great. There are some that are ass, but like those are the cultural changes, I think. And I think there's still a pretty strong, group of people, and there's still a strong culture of going to the theater. And I hope that keeps going, but I can see why people are scared.
Yeah, I think the way I'm seeing it now, I think the future is premium formats. I think that's going to be very dependent heading forward.
Yep.
We look at IMAX, we look at Dolby Cinema, we look at there's a ton of other formats that are being played in other theaters as well. 40X, which is crazy.
I haven't tried that. I don't know.
There's also I don't know what it's called, but there's one that it's a 360 where on the left, on the right, and in the middle there's a screen.
Oh my god, it's like a panorama.
Yeah, it's a panorama. I don't know what it's called, but that's also another format. But I do think the future of cinema is IMAX and Dolby. I think those are two.
Speaking of which, did they ever plan on showing movies at the Sphere in Las Vegas?
Oh, that's interesting. Is there inside to that thing?
Yeah, there is. It's a venue.
A concert venue.
Oh.
Yeah.
All I see on that is ads, to be honest, which I get why they make it because
that's the outside.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just see the outside to that thing. So yeah, I never knew. There's a couple comments in here. Nato Kaiba says, nah, Davi ain't wrong to have that worry down the line, especially with streaming. 100% agree. Echo AI says, do you buy snacks at the theater?
Always.
All
the time.
Have to have something, bro. Like if you raw dog a theater.
I did it for the 3 o'clock.
You raw dog a movie.
I did it for the 3 o'clock showing.
That's great. But you were locked in.
Because I was locked in. I was like, okay. I planned it. I said 3 o'clock showing for Dune. I'm just going to bring a bottle of water. 7 o'clock, we're going to get the jumbo popcorn. We're going to get the candy. And we're going to get the soda.
The whole bucket. And the popcorn bucket.
Yeah.
No,
I did not get the popcorn bucket.
It's crazy. The thing that was funny was I just like got so stressed out in Dune Part 2, and we'll talk more about this, but like I got a whole jumbo thing of popcorn the first time I couldn't finish it. I stopped. You know when you get so stressed out you can't eat? Like I literally was like, I put half of the thing down, and I'm like chomping, bro. I just go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Davi also loves the popcorn and
peanut M&Ms or a Crunch Bunch. I love doing that. Yeah, yep. Those are the best.
Yeah. I do a little crazy. Like I like Raisinets. Sometimes I'll put Raisinets in there, bro.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, shut up. Shut up.
That's weird.
I don't care. I like
Chat,
it.
that's weird, right?
I like it. Chill. Don't have them roast me like that. That's crazy. But yeah, snacks in the theater, great. Yeah, I'm moving on. Anyway, Wild Slay says, if theaters survive through the same day releases on Max and stuff through COVID, then they aren't going anywhere, I think. That is what I agree with.
Yes, that is a very valid point for sure.
And the thing that I also like think about, bro, is like streaming, and we can get into a rabbit hole with this. I just want to make this a quick statement. You guys can comment, but like streaming is not a sustainable business. It's very clear that it's not a sustainable business.
Yeah, we're seeing that. I mean, look at Netflix is already raising the price again.
They continuously raise prices.
Every year they're doing it.
And I don't think Netflix, I would have to check, and maybe people can correct me on this, but I don't think they're making profits the way that they want to be making profits. And that's the reason that they do this. And they spend so much money producing and distributing a film that, like, if they just literally give it a theatrical release, like, they would make that money. And I don't understand why they don't do that. It doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah. But to me, there's flaws with streaming. There's very clear flaws with streaming, especially if you are for the streaming services and also for the viewers, the people who really like movies. So, what is next here? It's getting so expensive to go to the movies, 100%,
yes,
especially in the premium formats, which sucks because
so expensive.
That's where you want to watch it.
You get a soda and a popcorn, and it's $20.
Yeah,
and it's like
100%.
How, dude?
Yeah, it is true.
Shelby Jordan is saying, buy snacks. You got to sneak that stuff in. Yo, I've been seeing more people just bring straight up food.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And like nobody bats an eye.
Nobody cares.
I'm gonna start doing that, bro. Like bring a full meal.
That's fine. A lot of them don't mind. I mean, the theater that we go to, our IMAX, they really don't care.
They don't care.
But that's the problem, though, is that the majority of the money they're making
is from concessions.
Yeah. That's why it's so expensive.
Yeah, that's very true.
They're not really making money off of ticket sales. It's all.
Yeah, there's a whole metric. I think on that like opening weekend, I think on that first month, majority goes to the studio. And then if the film has legs, that's when the movie theater starts to make money.
Okay.
Because that's when the split goes a little bit more towards the theaters.
Gotcha.
So the film has to have legs. If the film has legs, it's going to help the movie theater make money.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Buy snacks. You got to sneak that stuff in. Nato Kaiba says, hey, you got the name right. LMAO, appreciate that. Hey, man, we have to. Just don't let Davi read your name. He'll butcher it.
Yeah, no, I'm so sorry.
Joel Bravo says, popcorn and Bunch of Crunch is so good.
Yes.
Reese's in the popcorn. I've never tried that.
Oh, I did that
Reese's
last
Pieces.
week. Yeah,
You did that?
I mixed Reese's Pieces and Crunch Bunch.
I get tired of Reese's Pieces. I don't know what it is with me.
It's really good.
Oh my God, Raisinets are fire. Don't disrespect Abe.
It's Rod.
It's Rod. Look at our Rod. Thank you, Rod. Wild Slay says, I actually didn't remember this, but that's hilarious. Raisinets in the popcorn is a Whiplash classic.
That is true.
That's crazy.
Classic.
And it's crazy because Whiplash is one of my favorite films, and I just didn't even make that connection till right now.
He does put that in.
Yes. And I think the girl's like, what the hell is wrong with you? And
oh, wow.
Yeah, I respect. Neiman, I'm you, bro. We are together. We are going back to cable eventually, maybe. Even the streaming like live TV stuff is getting so expensive.
There's just no way. I feel like they're gonna have to make a package. You have now Fox Sports, ESPN Sports, and I think Turner Sports, which is TNT. They're gonna merge and create a streaming service, something like that.
Really?
They're gonna merge into one. Someone correct me, but I'm pretty sure I read that Fox Sports and ESPN Sports are gonna do something together.
Does Disney own all that?
Disney owns ESPN. Disney does not own Fox Sports.
Okay.
No.
Gotcha.
But
that's craziness, man.
We should just go back to cable because at this point, bro, like we just watch stuff on a delay anyway, and we pay way too much for it. So we just go back to cable where we can watch things like truly live.
Yeah. My question is, sorry, this might be like off topic with just going on a tangent. Why don't the cable companies do a very good job at a streaming service? I know some of them do have like, oh, here's the online version of cable, like watch on TV. I think like Xfinity has that or something. But if they invested in that as an option to have cable, but it's streaming.
Yeah. I guess they could, but I mean, again, like going back to my point, at this point, if we're paying so much for this stuff anyway, like why don't we just get cable? Because it's better. Like the quality's probably not as good.
No.
Quality's not as good.
I mean, the on-demand aspect, you lose that.
Yeah.
Like watching whenever you want.
That too.
Like that.
So there's that piece. This one's hilarious. Joel says, I need a medium rare ribeye at the theater.
Bro, same.
I need them fork and knife with the...
I need a Longhorn Steakhouse in the theater.
Brother. That's crazy.
That is wild.
That's crazy.
There's a new theater chain that's we discussed this in line for Dune. It's called Alamo. We talked about it, which they have a ton of rules where you can't show up on time for the movie. You have to show up a couple minutes early, or else if you show up on time, they won't let you in.
That's crazy. Listen, that'd be hard for me. I won't lie. Sometimes I get a little bit late. I don't mind people walking in late as long as you're quiet and you're not stupid. Let me just say something real quick about this because I have a tangent, bro. And we talk about this all the time.
Movie theater etiquette.
AMC theaters specifically. Brother, y'all just don't care about people who are annoying as hell in the theater. Yeah, Davi was telling me about the fact that he went to go watch the Bob Marley movie with his dad.
Yeah.
Say what?
No. That was. I can't believe. I just don't know how people think this is right. So, someone brought a 3-year-old, 4-year-old child into the movies, gave them their phone, and they were playing Coco Melon the entire movie, bro.
With the volume
on?
Nah, stop it. Stop it now.
Yo. And the baby was screaming, walking around. I'm like, are you Sold Out showing too? I was like, bro, this is crazy.
I knew it was doomed. Crazy. I knew it was doomed when I started seeing the ads for AMC being like, oh, we've added guest Wi-Fi now to our theaters. And I'm like, bro, why?
You don't need it.
And like
check your phone at the door.
Dedicated like theaters that where you're allowed to use the Wi-Fi, use your phone and whatnot. I'm like, oh my god, just stop it.
Yeah, they have, and the thing is, they have showings for people where they put the lights on. I think it's called like the sensitive.
Oh yeah, it's now I'm forgetting the word, and I used to work with this. My god.
Yeah,
but yeah,
they have those showings every day actually. So I think maybe AMC has to find a balance where they can create more showings specifically for that crowd. Where
it's
they
like sensory,
sensory
friendly screenings.
I guess I've seen this here. It's Caleb saying Coco Melon during a movie is wild. It's true,
bro. It was crazy.
Yeah. No, for me. So here's why I got pissed off. Right, the Bob Marley movie is. I mean, again, you never want this in any movie, but the Bob Marley movie is recent, right? You might have a parent who has to take care of the child. Like, I get it. Like, it's stupid. You shouldn't do this, but like, okay, sure. I went to go watch The Lobster recently. I had never seen The Lobster. The Lobster was released in 2015, A24 movie. It's very niche. Like, not a lot of people like are like dying to see this movie in 2024. But I hadn't seen it. I heard it was a great movie. I'm gonna go like randomly during a night, weekday night. I forgot that it was freaking February break.
Yeah, so this is when...
And then all the damn high schoolers, which like can go into the theater. And by the way, I don't even think they were old enough to see the movie because it's 17 years old. You have to be 17 to watch a rated R movie. Anyway, I go into this theater. I'm sitting there, bro, and it's a row of high schoolers behind me. They ran up and down the sides, like leaving the theater, coming in and out like 20 times, literally 20 times. I'm not exaggerating. And these kids were literally like yelling and like being annoying. I literally looked back at one point and I said like, shut up, literally shut up. And they stayed quiet for like 20 minutes and then they just went back on their bullshit. I literally moved my seat because there wasn't a ton of people in the theater. Like I went 2 rows up and like sat away from them. And then one kid came down, like opened the door, started playing some random TikTok noise on his phone and started yelling, like moaning like kids in high school.
Oh my God.
I was like, bro, this is so...
See, I've never experienced it that bad.
No, it was
like horrible. I always thought the theater etiquette here in the US was like very good because we're all Brazilian, if you guys didn't know.
It's bad.
When I was a kid, I remember 2 times going to the theaters where I saw Garfield, the Garfield movie, and another time I was watching Spider-Man. During the Garfield movie, people were like screaming at Garfield, like calling him a bunch of insults, swearing at him. It was wild, bro. I'm like, what are you guys? This is a kid's movie. Why are you here? It was crazy. It was crazy.
Yo, imagine being so upset you just gotta cuss out Garfield for what reason?
Garfield, you know, that's
insert.
Yeah. And then Spider-Man, bro. Oh my God! Every time Mary Jane was on the screen, these people were like howling and doing crazy shit.
Oh my, that's cool.
And they were wild, bro. And they were like throwing popcorn at the screen. I was like, "What the hell is this?" So like, it's definitely like bad in other places, like worse. But
Rodrigo says, "Charlie, tell them about the theater etiquette in the Philippines."
Oh, the Philippines. Well, we went to in the Philippines. We watched Alita: Battle Angel.
Okay.
And honestly, I think it was just me and Rod and one other guy in the theater.
Yeah,
like, it was just the 3 of us. And then all of a sudden, the the freaking screen just shut off. The movie just shut off, like in the middle of the thing. And the guy just gets up and he's like, "Wow, so unprofessional." Started, like, cussing it out and stuff. I think we waited like 10, 15 minutes and they brought the movie back. Oh, which, by the way, that happened to us during Oppenheimer as well. When we saw it in 70 millimeter.
Yes,
the
we
movie
did.
halfway through, literally halfway through, just projector dies.
Oh my god,
Incredible.
that's mad funny. Nato Kaiba says they must have been really upset with Bill Murray's performance in Garfield.
Yeah.
Wild Slay says the Brazilians be getting into it, huh, bro?
Yes.
Trust. Wild. Trust. Wild. Brazilians in the comments weigh in. I know there's a few of you. I know there's a few.
Yeah, I don't know what it's like today because I haven't been in a while, but I'm sure it's a lot of the same.
Yeah.
In the movies there. I wonder like how they act to Dune.
Bruh, I have no idea.
It's doing really well in Brazil, actually.
No, I know
Yeah,
it is, but I'm
performing
saying
really well.
Brazil fandom is crazy.
Yeah, the pop culture is
Yeah.
I don't care
high.
what you're into, whether it's TV, movie, music, whatever, like sports, you will find a Brazil like fan club.
Yeah.
And it's like crazy. It's nuts.
It is nuts.
Let me read through some of these real quick, and then we got some more questions that were pre-prepared. Okay, let's see. Alamo Draft House has some bomb-ass food, 100%. I actually haven't been. Have you been?
No, I haven't either. No, they
I have
just
heard that,
opened
though.
one in Boston.
I have
You
heard
should
that,
check it out.
Wild Slay says, I mean, this is better than cable. Even if you have to pay multiple streaming services, at least you can still have the whole backlog of content at all times. That is true. It's the ease of access. That's what streaming really brings. Naito Kaiba says, there have been numerous times here in my city, and it's so crazy how you can just order a burger or a personal pizza while watching your movie, which can be a bit distracting at times. Yeah, I get that. Especially if we got some loud chewers next to you. Like the whole thing. Like
Our theater stopped that. Before a while back, they like converted it to like a dine-in theater, and then COVID happened. Before that, there would be a button next to your seat where you call the waiter.
Yeah.
Then you order everything. They bring it to you on like actual plates and silverware and stuff. And
It was crazy.
COVID happened, and then after that, they just started. You go up to the register at the concessions to
Or
order.
you order
it,
on your phone.
or you order on your phone, and then they bring it to you in like plastic containers and plastic silverware. It's so like not what it used to be.
I'm not going to lie. It's kind of better, though, because of that reason. Because before, you could be like 30 minutes into a movie, if someone clicks a red button, and then you have people like, no, this isn't what I ordered. I ordered this.
Yeah.
And then you're like, all right, bro, the movie's literally like, we are. I don't know the characters' names now because I just listened to your whole argument with the damn waiter. All right, this next person says, I have YouTube TV. It's nice because I can watch it anywhere. Mainly got it for NFL Sunday Ticket. Davi knows all about that.
Yep.
What else here? Why didn't they take their kid to Migration or something?
Yeah,
That movie.
that's an animated film. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't. It just did.
I think the dad was like, I'm trying to see Bob.
No, yeah, it was the dad. The dad was into the
Get
movie.
a babysitter.
Yeah.
Get
Bro.
your kids some AirPods.
Something.
What else here? Tristan says, so many parents now just put devices in front of their kids in public. It's weird. And I'm saying this as a 20-year-old. 1,000%.
Yes.
The tablet stuff is crazy. Like I'm so against it now. Like 1,000% against it. I haven't seen you know the other faction of people that are just as bad as kids now is like the older like parents and stuff. Like iPad, phone, like all the time.
Yes.
Older generation, like some of the older generation, bro, they're glued to that thing, and I'm like, bro, you're worse than some of these kids who like on tablet like 20% of the time. I go to the theater in the Bronx. The etiquette is bad too, bro. I really don't think you can escape it, no matter where you go.
No.
Theater etiquette can be bad. So this is a PSA to everybody who's annoying. Shut the hell up. That's it. That's literally it.
Obviously, the best theater etiquette I've ever seen was at New York Film Festival when we went.
Oh
man.
yeah.
Of course, because it's like super controlled and stuff. But I've never seen it to that level. Because like we got to see some movies a little bit early there, right? Because they were premiering there and stuff. So like we went to a screening of Maestro, and there was security. Like usually the movies there was like one or two in the smaller theaters. This one had like probably like 10, and they had these little things that they would look through in the dark room, and you could see the red laser light like pointing at people. I think they were watching to see if people were potentially recording or if they were on their phone to kick them out and stuff. It was they were on top of their game.
We should talk about NIF at some point. We don't have to do it right now, but like I would love to talk about that because I think people would be interested to see if people haven't been to a film festival. It was a really interesting experience. It was really cool.
It was for sure.
But Davi, let's get into the other question. I think we have a couple more from people who commented on our community post.
Yes. First question comes from Mast3R Nate. What are some songs used in film or TV that have stuck with you still to this day? His was Radiohead's "Everything's in the Right Place," used in the beginning of Vanilla Sky. Radiohead's "Let Down" at the season 1 finale of The Bear. I think it's Exhibits. Paparazzi used at the end of the Sopranos episode Pax Soprana, and Kendrick Lamar's "Pride" at the end of the series finale of Snowfall.
I have seen the clip of the Snowfall. I started Snowfall. I couldn't really get into it completely, but people who love it, they ride for that show 100%.
But yeah, mine. Oh, geez, you're starting with me.
Don't steal mine because you know my.
No, I know yours. But I have a ton. But I want to highlight 2 that stood out to me right away when I thought about this. One, in Into the Spider-Verse, the Leap of Faith scene.
Okay.
That scene is incredible with the song "What's Up, Danger." Fire, absolutely fire.
What's up, Danger?
When he's falling down, but it's upside down, and he's rising. Oh, it's beautiful. I think it's in the modern era of cinema, I think it's one of the best montage scenes ever made in the modern era.
Animation is cinema.
Animation is cinema. And then another one is from an international film, Another Round.
Oh my God, I forgot about that one.
Where Mads Mikkelsen dances, "What a Life. What a night. What a beautiful, beautiful life." Yes.
Hey, have you seen Another Round?
I haven't. I've only seen
Oh my gosh. If you guys haven't seen Another Round, it's on Hulu. It is a Danish film. And it is a incredible film. It's basically about teachers where one teacher, they're best friends, and they find a study where the hypothesis of this study says that men were born to have a natural, blood alcohol content of 0.5. So what they do is
0.05.
0.05. Sorry,
0.5.
0.5 is crazy. 0.05.
0.5, you'd be dead.
0.05. And so they actually test this. So every single time they go to work, they drink alcohol to get to 0.05 to see if they will improve on their day-to-day basis, working, skills, social life,
all that stuff.
And it highlights a lot of interesting things and discussions about alcohol.
Bro, I don't know how I keep forgetting about this movie. Just like in general, I'm really bad at remembering off the top of my head. That is one of my favorite films of all time.
That movie
is incredible. I don't care if you don't like foreign films, dude. Watch
this movie. It is so good.
To you especially, I think you'll love that film. So good. What, those are your 2?
Those are my 2, yeah.
That one, that's a great one. I forgot about that one. I only have one that really came to mind, and it's because I think about the scene like at least maybe once a week. And it is from Charlotte Wells' After Sun.
Yes.
It is the Under Pressure the song that they use with the basically climax of the film, where Paul Mescal's character is, and his daughter is kind of like seeing him in this light, this fun, and then you see the real dark side of addiction and that kind of thing. And bro, the way that moment just builds up, the cinematography of that, and the way that they remix that song to fit that montage, I honestly think it's the best use of music for me in a movie. Like, one of the best, for sure.
It is beautiful.
So good. So good.
And it's crazy that it's Charlotte Wells' directorial debut, which is nuts.
Absolutely nuts.
It's nuts.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, did anyone in the chat say what films?
Did anyone say anything? Nothing about... Yeah, if you have a music that went in a scene or a movie that you really liked, or a show, could be a show.
Is that one from Gerald there? Give Me Shelter in Scorsese films.
Oh,
that one?
Give Me Shelter is a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime they play Fortunate Son in any of the non-movies. What about you, Charlie?
Honestly, I can't.
Can't think of one off the top.
No, I can't.
It's hard to think off the top, but you know when you hear it and when you see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's some that just fit so well.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't do like Danger Zone in like the Top Gun.
Yeah, sure. I mean, but it like plays like 13 times throughout the movie.
That's true. That is very true. What else here? I'll just read a couple comments before we get on to the next question. Okay, Shelby Jordan said, with so much content out there, do you guys find it hard to find time to watch everything? I struggle with that. It's too much.
Yes.
This is a loaded question for us. Yes. Well,
that's my question. Yes.
Okay, I'll say
I'm
this.
the one who struggles the most.
Yeah, Charlie does.
Charlie does.
Yeah.
But Charlie also has the most work out of all of us in terms of like having to be in the reactions and also edit a lot of our stuff. So you have it hard. what I will say is, my struggle is like, am I going to save this to watch it on Redox, or am I going to watch it? Because I watch TV shows like nobody's business. Like, that is my stuff. Like, I'll watch, David's like, he watches every single movie. I watch like almost every single TV show, especially if it's the ones that are good and that I hear everybody's raving about. I watch it pretty much across the board. So I don't struggle with like watching them. I just struggle with like, damn, should I save this for us to react to it?
Yeah. For me, I lean more towards films. I like films better. And it sucks because I hate when films get released straight to streaming. It kind of unmotivates it. And it basically unmotivates me to see it. I like seeing it in theaters, but I try to go to the theaters at least once a week. With the A-list, I think it's a good bargain. So yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Next one says, have you guys thought about how there's still 54 Tony Tuesdays to go?
Oh my God, someone did the math.
That's fine. Yes.
Yeah, we know.
We've done a lot of math to like crunch how long we're going to be doing it. But it's like, we kept going back and forth about it. And honestly, it's just such a good, like, long ride to have. And I appreciate now taking our time with it and having like new people join us and all that. And again, with binging and everything like that, it's a little bit different how we're doing it. And I like it. I think we all like it.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit of a hard show to binge, to be honest.
True. We're also getting kind of like an experience as if we were watching it.
Yeah. Weekly release.
Yeah. When it was first released.
Exactly.
Without the season breaks in between, obviously. But
yep.
Yeah, it's just going consistently through. I think it just gives us more time to breathe and really discuss each episode as it goes. Because I know we had what, like a 3-hour discussion on trying to see if we were gonna do 2 episodes a week, and then we're like, no, let's just keep it 1 episode a week.
Yep.
It's just because we know that. I know we know in the summer it's gonna get really busy with a lot of shows coming out.
Yep.
And so we have to,
we're making a plan.
We're making a plan for the summer. We know that there's, we have House of the Dragon, we have the Boys, we have The Bear season 3. Those are 3 shows coming out right around the same time.
Yeah.
So we're trying to plan for those 3 shows while also maintaining Tony Tuesday.
Yep. Another person. So Echo AI mentioned, I heard Chris Rock is making an American version of Another Round. Yeah, I heard about that too.
Yeah, he is.
Is it Chris Rock?
Yeah,
it's Chris Rock
producing it, right?
I think it's I think he's directing.
Oh,
no
wow.
way.
Yeah, he's directing.
I heard Leo is going to be the lead in that.
I heard that rumor early, but now that I feel like that rumor has died. I haven't seen much about it lately. That's really brave. I'm going to say that for Chris Rock to do that as his directorial debut.
I don't know if it's a directorial debut or if it's, I haven't.
Maybe production.
Yeah, I have no idea. But I know he's behind the project.
Bro, it's tough. Remakes already are like a weird conversation to have because a lot of people are always like the original, but especially with Another Round, dude, that's really hard because the way they did it and also the culture in Denmark, it really allows the movie to flourish based on like what they're talking about. Like drinking culture there is really different than it is here. So I think it's going to be hard to replicate and hard to do something original that's going to be appreciated as much as that movie is. But that's just my opinion. What else here? Echo, thanks for the heads up on that news. I had no idea till now. Yeah, it's unfortunate news. Tron Legacy soundtrack by Daft Punk is amazing.
Yes. Oh my God, that is one movie I am dying to see again on IMAX.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I saw it on IMAX when I was a kid, and it was one of the best experiences going to the theaters as a kid. It was an absolute banger.
That's fire.
I loved it on IMAX, and I'm hoping that with the new they're doing a sequel. I don't think it's gonna be good, but they're doing a sequel. I'm hoping that they release Legacy on IMAX again. I would love to see it again. I think it's one of the most underappreciated films. I love it.
Also, the Roger Waters version of "Comfortably Numb" in The Departed. I don't know the scene. Stuck in the Middle with You in the Reservoir Dogs. That is a great one, bro. That is a great one. 100% classic scene. You are doing it like we watched it when it came out. Yeah, exactly. I appreciate that way. We're talking about Sopranos. I think we struck a good chord with that. I know people want us to do it faster, but some things take time. I found myself rewatching clips of Beef from Netflix lately. Amazing show, ton of videos. Okay, so this is one that I haven't watched yet. There's a few big shows that
I've seen it. It is really good.
Yeah.
It is really, really good.
The cast for the next season looks crazy.
Yeah.
Was it like Jake Gyllenhaal?
And
Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway.
Yeah.
Is it Kaylee Spaney?
Kaylee Spaney is in it?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, bro, they got a star-studded cast for that next season. It's going to be crazy.
Wow.
Upcoming boys reaction. Yes, that's a little bit of a sneak peek. I don't think we've talked about
We
that
have
at all.
not. Yeah.
But me and Davi are huge The Boys fans, and I think we really want to watch it. It's gonna be hard to see how much of that stuff we can put on YouTube because it's gruesome.
Yeah, for sure.
And we're trying to get Charlie to watch it and catch up because it's fire. But if not, then it'll be kind of like The Bear, where Davi and I will take it. Speaking of Mads Mikkelsen, have any of you seen Hannibal? I've been thinking of starting it, but it got canceled. So no, I haven't seen Hannibal.
It is a prequel to, oh my God, I'm blanking on
Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, Silence of the Lambs. Great
Yeah.
film.
I have not. I have a hard time with shows like that too, where it gets.
Is it a
heard gets
prequel? I don't know,
canceled.
but I know it's based off Silence of the Lambs.
Got you. Like a show that got me is I watched it even though it was canceled. I knew it was canceled. Was Mindhunter.
Oh,
Yeah, it
I
was
just
too
recently
expensive.
watched Mindhunter.
That
Yeah,
was-
I heard it was very expensive, and Fincher wasn't getting greenlighted to do it continuously because it didn't have a big enough audience. But there's still such a cult following that
Yeah.
wants it back.
Here's some
All the
news
time
about-
under his comments are saying, "Yo, they're in season." He did 2 seasons, right?
2 seasons.
Yeah, they're asking for season 3,
Mhm.
and it's
And where it ended, bro, like it was really building. The story was great.
I heard that they are doing it though.
No, I
no.
they're
He
not.
he said no.
I saw something recently that they're pushing for a season 3 to be made.
Yeah,
But
but so what I heard is that news comes from Fincher so many times because anytime he does interviews, people ask about
They
it.
ask him, yeah.
And he always kind of teeters the line of like he'll never say never, but like the further away we get from it, like he just doesn't see how it's going to be possible to do. So yeah, that's that piece. That's a little bit hard to see, but we'll see. Bro, I would be so down. Yeah, Nato Kaiba says, "Nah, I will be forever pissed we won't have a season 3 of Mindhunter." Yes, agreed. Shelby Jordan says, "Sopranos is the greatest show ever. I'm enjoying the ride that you guys are on. It never gets old." That's what we keep hearing.
Yes, it's awesome to hear.
Yeah, those are good. Do you want to?
Yeah.
going
So we got from Arsolon 618. What are your favorite films of all time? All right, let's do it like this. What's your letterbox for?
Your letterbox 4.
Yeah.
So damn hard. Bro.
What is your letterbox for?
You go first.
Oh my God! Why you put me on the spot? Shoot. All right, this is off riff. Okay, there's 2 films that I think. Okay, no, I have a list. I'm gonna pull it up right
Is there
now.
a recent addition?
There's no recent addition.
Okay.
It's just
You need to let it breathe.
I need to look at my list just so because I
All right, I'll riff because I know one of mine for sure.
I'll look mine up while you do that.
All right, Whiplash, 100% for me.
Yeah.
It's one of, I think it's for me still like coherently from start to finish. To me, it's Damien Chazelle's best work. It's like the characters in it is, to me, it's just flawless. It's amazing. The dynamic in there, J.K. Simmons is incredible. The story, like driving towards perfectionism, and like what you give up in doing that is, I think it's really relatable. And it's a really good watch. So anybody who hasn't seen it, I really encourage you to watch it. What the heck else do I got on there? Oh, the best rom-com of all time, Crazy Stupid Love. I will die on this hill. I don't want to hear from anybody. Crazy Stupid Love is the best rom-com ever. Ryan Gosling, Steve Carell, Emma Stone. So good. It's funny, it's heartfelt, and like to me it has like the best like climax of any rom-com. The one scene that if anybody knows that movie, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Those are 2 of my favorites. Let me keep thinking while somebody else goes. Charlie, what do you got?
Let's see.
Oh,
I
see one
have
on your list
I have
that
my
on
top
mine
10,
now.
but I don't know if I reveal my number 1, my number 2.
Oh, you're number 1, bro. Yeah, you have
All
to
right,
say that
fine.
one.
My number 1, this fluctuates. Titanic.
No, it doesn't fluctuate. Shut up.
Titanic.
This man, this is the movie like that. David does his stuff where he watches movies on loop. This is the movie this man will watch on loop,
I do.
like all the time.
I have my reasons, but
I mean, it's a classic.
it is a classic.
Yeah.
It is a classic, but it's a culmination of a lot of different things where it's not just the movie itself. It's also the story of like how it was made, what it took for James Cameron to get to that point.
Yeah.
So every time I watch it again and I see what he was able to pull off, I'm just mind blown every time. And fun fact, apparently he made no money off of that movie whatsoever till this day.
What do you mean, bro? He doesn't make money off his movies.
No, he off of Titanic he didn't, because he went way over budget. He asked for the studio.
Oh yes, I remember that.
To extend the budget.
Wait, to this day he released like so many DVD versions.
He didn't sign any royalty deals or anything, and he gave the money, his paycheck that he got for making the movie. He gave it back to the studio after the movie was done.
Interesting.
And said, "Thank you for believing in me, and thank you for going over budget."
Interesting. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Somebody asked what our letterbox is. I'll put mine is just Abe Meds, ABEMEDS, yes, ABEMEDS. That's my letterbox.
How do I find that? I don't even know.
It's on your profile if you go. I like these here: Taxi Driver, The Godfather, The Shining. The Shining's a great.
Shining
bro.
is really good.
Memories of Murder, but so hard to decide. Yeah, bro, it's so hard to pick, and my stuff fluctuates all the time. The other one that I have that showed up on Charlie's list that I have to say is Arrival, because to me it was like it was my introduction to Denis Villeneuve, and when I saw that movie, I just like couldn't stop talking about it, and I had to show people. So like I made Charlie sit down and watch it, and if you know anything about Charlie, it's so hard to get him to sit down and watch a damn movie. But like I had to like have him sit down, and then for like the ending, if anybody who knows Arrival, I won't spoil it obviously because spoilers are no bueno. But the ending of it happens, and then Charlie's sitting there. He's like, "Wait," and then he asked me a question. Then I clarify what happens. He's like, "Holy shit, it's incredible."
We had to go
like,
back.
yeah.
I like rewinded it. I was like, "Nah, wait, hold on," and then we watched it again.
Yeah,
Okay, I got
so good.
I have it now.
So that's 3. I'll think of my last 4.
Okay, I'm wondering if I can do this. Okay, y'all can tell me if I can't do this. Okay, but first on the list.
It's gonna add like a trilogy together.
Yeah.
I knew it. I knew it. Fine, you can do it.
Oh my God! Before Sunset, Before Sunrise, Heat. Yes. A Bronx Tale.
Bronx Talent.
Bronx Talent. Yes.
I love the Before trilogy.
He is fire as well. I just rewatched it. That's Michael Mann. I haven't seen. Is it A Bronx Tale? I've seen A Bronx Tale. Bronx Talent I haven't seen.
I don't know.
But Before Sunset, Before Sunrise, Heat. Yes.
Fire.
Absolutely goated films.
Go ahead. Say
Okay.
your
All right. First one is Alfonso Cuarón's Roma. I am obsessed with that movie. I am a big fan of it. If you guys know, I think I've told the movie is very personal to me. I love. It's actually a Netflix film, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm a big fan of films that are inspired by neorealism. And Roma is one of them. I love Cidade de Deus. I think it will forever be, aka City of God.
yes.
It will forever be in my top 4.
There's my 4th.
I don't think it will ever leave it. And
As a Brazilian too, it's like almost hard to like not
from
acknowledge that
the
movie.
Brazilian films that I've seen, I don't think nothing has ever topped City
And
of
I don't
God.
think anything
And
will.
it's crazy because I don't think anything will ever. And I think it's really hard.
Yeah.
It's like how, because it's just it's a film that has not only impacted Brazilian cinema but worldwide cinema as a whole.
Yep.
And so many people have seen it. And next one is the best trilogy of all time. The most insane thing that I can't believe we have this in this age. I just can't believe they got this made, but it is the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Will forever be the best, I think, moment in cinema. It is. I wish that I could time travel and go back to 2001 and be able to see all those films in theaters. That is one thing that I wish I could do. I was a baby when that movie came out, when the 3 of them came out. But yeah, and then the 4th one, which I have here, I recently just rewatched because I got it on Blu-ray, and it made me appreciate it a lot more. And seeing it, I think 2 times. I've seen it 2 times in the past 2 months, and that is Lawrence of Arabia.
Oh wow!
Oh my God!
Can you tell who's the film nerd in this trailer?
Yo, that movie.
You gotta really love film to
Lawrence of Arabia is.
Sit through 5 hours of Lawrence of Arabia.
It is an app.
No hate to Lawrence of Arabia.
Also, 2001: Space Odyssey. Like those are the 5 films that I go back. I watched Lawrence of Arabia, 2001: Space Odyssey, and I'm like, this is insane. Like this is you can't even imagine that this was filmed 2001. You can't imagine that it was filmed in the 60s. It is something. It's like Dune. I don't want to get to Dune yet, but it's like you know something amazing is happening. You know that they're changing the landscape of cinema.
It's a scale,
It's
scope.
a scale scope. I love that. And it's also, I love that because films like 2001 and Lawrence of Arabia and also Lord of the Rings, they do a really good job at balancing not only to the people who are film nerds and who like, you know, independent cinema, but also the blockbuster films. They mesh those things so well, and that is a feat that is really hard to do as a director.
Yeah.
It's really hard to just cater. It's hard. I'm not saying it's easier, but usually you cater to one specific audience. But to cater to multiple audiences and bring people from different backgrounds to this film, to this moment, only a couple films have done that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Lord of the Rings, 2001: Space Odyssey, and I believe Lawrence of Arabia are three of them.
Mm.
But yeah, those are my four. But 2001 as well is insane.
Great. Echo AI says, have y'all seen Good Time? Got to be in my top 5. Good Time's great, bro.
Yes.
Robert Pattinson does not get enough love. I'm going to say that right now.
Does not.
Does not get enough love.
Him in The Lighthouse is...
Bro, Lighthouse,
Great.
Batman, Tenet, man acts his ass
Everything
off.
except for Twilight. He's amazing.
Bro, yes, 100%. You know what's great, though? Like, just get the shit out, like, early. My girlfriend's upstairs. She's a huge Twilight fan. I got to be careful. But, like... Bro, like, just get that out of the way. Like, he got that whole thing out of the way, and then he just went on to do awesome. And now Kristen Stewart, same kind of vibe, bro. Like, her roles now are like,
she's killing it.
she's absolutely killing it. So yeah, they got that out of the way, and then they do the good stuff. So that's great. He said every clip of City of God I've seen I liked. I got to watch the whole thing one day, dude. Please watch it. It's really, really good.
It's so good.
Have y'all seen Inside Llewyn Davis? It's a pretty interesting Coen Brothers film that automatically means entertaining side characters as well as the main character. They love a side character, the Coen Brothers. They love it.
They do.
The movie that I remember the most about the Coen Brothers was the Ballad of Buster Scruggs, which is a recent film, and it's all side characters because it's just like little vignettes. And once I saw that, and then I've seen other films from them, like they love a little side character, 100%. So
yeah, that's true. I saw a recent Coen Brothers. No, it's not. It's one of the Coen Brothers released recently. It's Drive Away Dolls.
Oh, okay.
It was okay.
It was all right.
Yeah, it was all right.
They are they are hit and miss. To me, you know who they're in the same category as is Wes Anderson. Like, to me, it's like they have an audience that they really cater to, and those people, like the diehards, always love it, and then it's hit or miss for everybody else. That's how I see.
But this one was just one brother. I forgot which one it was directed by. It wasn't them together.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it was good.
Shelby Jordan.
Okay.
I love the Rocky franchise. Yeah, I mean it's a classic, 100%.
I'm talking about Rocky. Creed 3.
Creed 3 was so good, dude.
Wow.
Sports. It was the first sports film ever shot on IMAX.
It's fire.
Yeah.
So good.
You guys, guilty pleasure movies.
Oh, that's such a good question.
That's a really good question.
I already know one of ours, Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah.
That's
I don't
like
know if
the
it's
family.
a guilty pleasure, but yeah. Yeah, sure.
Right.
It's like every time it comes on TV,
I have to watch. Like, I have to watch at least 20 minutes of it.
Mean Girls, and it isn't even and it isn't
Girls is
close.
great. That's a great one.
Yes,
That's a great one.
Mean Girls is great.
I'm trying to think of something more like that I wouldn't necessarily admit, but I'm like, yeah, it's fire.
I'm having a hard time thinking
Yeah, I mean,
of them.
You guys don't have any more guilty pleasure movies? To me, it's Shrek, bro. Shrek, I'll watch. It's not even guilty pleasure. I'll say it with chest. SpongeBob movie. There you go. SpongeBob movie is my guilty pleasure movie. Bro.
10 Things I Hate About You is great too. Yes.
That's a great one.
I don't know, for me, guilty pleasure. I'm not gonna lie, those Disney Channel original movies sometimes
they hit, bro.
Sometimes they hit.
Sometimes they hit.
Like Luck of the Irish.
Look at the there's
Smart House.
Smart. Watch Smart House now, and
It's bad.
nah.
Burger
Yo,
was that,
which
bro.
one? Nah, the one that
Xenon.
the one that's aged well. Lemonade Mouth, really good.
Oh my god.
I think Lemonade Mouth is great.
Guys, I have to ask this question. You guys know my opinion on this. I'm gonna let you guys answer first. Thought on movie musicals.
I love I love musicals. I love musicals. It's a
Movie musicals.
movie musical. Like
Like, not a musical on Broadway, but like
musical
on
films.
screen.
yeah,
Like
I love music. They're
La
awesome.
La Land, West Side Story. Everything except for In the Heights is great.
I mean, it's definitely a classic medium. The classics of like Singing in the Rain, for example, The Sound of Music, like those are just essential to cinema, and has impacted the future of cinema in so many ways. So you can never not talk about movies, and you have to have musicals in the conversation. You know, you look at a West Side Story, like those are films that have shaped the movie going experience as a whole. So yeah, I love musicals. I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
But they have definitely changed a lot. Some of them don't hit as much as it used to, but the recent ones.
Sorry, you go ahead, Charlie.
Oh no, I'm just I lean more towards the classic musicals, not the new age musical movies. So like Singing in the Rain, Mary Poppins, a lot of them. I don't know.
So
really into them.
Here's my take. I really like musicals, like Broadway musicals. I like being in an audience and like seeing a musical live.
Yeah.
It really takes a lot for me to like a musical in a movie. Because to me, in movies, narrative is so important and character development is so important for me, because those are two of the things that I value the most. So if to me, everything is being told through song, I have a really hard time. It takes me out of it. And if a lot of the musical pieces are just like, I don't know, it's not really pushing the narrative, or it's just like a musical break and we're doing this now and it's fun. It doesn't really work for me, and it has a hard time capturing me.
Oh, then you can't watch Les Mis.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I have mad respect for Les Mis. I'm not ever going to hate on Les Mis, but it's not for me.
So good.
However,
So good.
two of the musicals that Charlie named are like amazing films, and I would probably they're on my top 100 movies of all time, La La Land and Steven Spielberg's West Side Story. So good.
His reimagination of it was insane. It was so good.
And I don't do musicals, like I really don't. So when a musical hits for me, like it's special. It's really special. So that's my take. Great question. Thank you for that. Not guilty pleasure, but Juno also kind of fit. Bro, people love that. I love
coming of age stories. Oh my gosh,
coming
of age story. One I saw recently, I think it's coming of age, but Little Woman, Greta Gerwig's Little Woman. Oh my god,
Very great.
oh my gosh,
so good. I mean, that cast is crazy.
That movie's so good, bro.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's really, really good. Apologies if this has already been discussed, but what are the upcoming shows post Sopranos The Bear? Yeah, so we talked about it a little bit in the summer. There's going to be a lot. Season 3 of The Bear is coming, so we are going to be continuing with that. There's also The Boys.
Season 4,
which Davi and I are committed to doing 100%. That's one of our favorite like recent shows. And House of the Dragon is also going to be back this summer. And we are big Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, that world fans. So we will definitely be doing that as well. It's gonna be hard to balance everything, but we're starting to make a plan, and we think we can keep up. Summer gets hard. Obviously, people take vacation, stuff like that. You want to go outside and not be watching movies all day, TVs all day. But
House of the Dragon for sure, though.
No, 100%.
100%. We covered that when we were only doing audio.
Yes, that's what it was.
Yeah.
We didn't do reactions to House of the Dragon. We did a podcast like discussion.
Yes. Yeah.
House of the Dragon.
Yeah. House of Dragon will go back to our Sundays. It's gonna be a Sunday show.
100%.
It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be good. Secret Lights of Pets would be a guilty pleasure of mine. 100%. That's great. Man, I'm so nervous about the Wicked movie. The trailer had barely any singing.
Yeah, that's a new thing it's a new thing with these musicals. The way they don't want to put the singing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with the Mean Girls.
But Wicked is a musical. Like Wicked is known as a musical.
No, but the way they're marketing it, it's so weird. Mm-hmm. Like they didn't market
the Mean
Girls as a musical. They didn't market Wonka as a musical. It's a musical. And I mean they are marking Wicked.
Someone just said one of Mom's favorite movies. I enjoy The Devil Wears Prada when it's on. Great movie.
Oh, that's definitely a guilty
so
pleasure
good.
of mine. I love that movie.
Yes.
Another one is the Intern.
Yes.
Well, The Intern is such a good time.
There's a lot of Anne Hathaway movies that I really love.
Yeah, just put it on and you're just vibing.
Yeah,
100%.
Oh, what's the one from Disney that she's in that my girlfriend loves? Oh my god.
Oh,
Princess Diaries.
Princess Diaries. Oh, they're so good. They're bangers, bro. They're bangers. Such good movies.
Those are great.
All right, let's get on to the other question. Step Up.
Oh my god.
The original Step Up is fire. Step Up 2, the dancing is really good.
Yes, the last scene, dancing in the rain, the dance battle in the rain. That's
so
like
fire.
One of the best.
After Step Up 2, it gets
things ever.
Kind of whack. Not gonna lie.
What I mean, we brought up some foreign films, but what are some other foreign films that you guys liked?
Oh, Charlie has a good few.
Mm-hmm.
A recent one, Hand of God, was a couple of years back, I think. That was really good. It's a coming of age story as well, and it was just done very well, and it was so different. There's a lot of weird stuff in there that kind of makes sense, though, even though it's weird. I don't even know how to explain it, but if you've watched Hand of God, you know what I'm talking about. What else? City of God is on there. One that's pretty controversial, Blue is the Warmest Color, I think is a very, very good film. It's very long and drags out a lot because it's like 3 hours and something, but fantastic coming of age film as well. I'm trying to think of Cinema Paradiso is an Italian film.
Fire.
If you are a film enthusiast, like film lover, that movie will make you cry. And I cried like a child watching that movie. That's one of, I forgot, I didn't go on with my list, but that's in my top 10 as well.
I have to watch it.
Yeah.
So good, dude.
I love Park Chan-wook. He did Old Boy, Decision to Leave. I think Decision to Leave is an incredible film. Parasite, obviously.
Has to be.
Has to be Parasite. I think that's one. A French film, La Haine, really good as well. I think I'm trying to think of some more. Drive My Car is another great film.
What's that the French movie that goes crazy? Is it Athena or something like that?
Athena, yes, that's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
Yes, that's another great film. I thought it was really good.
I got some really recent ones from this year that I could just spitball off of. If you haven't seen Anatomy of the Fall, we already talked about it. Anatomy of the Fall is great.
Right.
Monster, it's a Japanese film. Bro, that movie is not getting enough spotlight. It's not being talked about enough at all. That's a coming of age movie as well, and it's like non-linear storytelling, so it's told from like 3 different perspectives, kind of the same story, but you get different details of the story as like it's like 3 acts, and the first act is one perspective, second act is second perspective, third act is the final perspective, which unveils all of the details, and you don't really know who is at fault for a conflict until everything comes together. Yeah. And to me, it's one of the best screenplays that I've ever seen. So that's there. And then there was one film that I really liked when we went to NIF, which hasn't been talked about at all. And I think it doesn't have much distribution in the US, was Close Your Eyes.
Yeah.
That was great.
I mean, you also have Seven Samurai, which is considered an absolute classic. I don't know if you guys have seen it, 1954. I just wanted to share exactly when it was released. But yeah, that's another great film that a lot of people put it on there. Yeah. And they're number 1 films of all time. Definitely, you guys should check it out.
Speaking of samurais, I told the guys about potentially watching Shogun.
Oh, yes.
That's we're hearing a lot of hype with that.
Yeah,
so
if you guys are interested in that, let us know. But
yes.
It looks really very intriguing. So
yep, that would be dope. What else is on your list, my guy?
What else is on my list? What are books do you want to be turned into either a TV show or a film? This is also coming from the same Arsalan 618. These are all the questions from
me. I'll let you guys answer that. I don't.
That's tough.
I'm not much of a reader.
Yeah, I have a hard time. Honestly, I used to be a big reader, dude, and I haven't. All the stuff that I read when I was younger that I wanted to be adapted has already been adapted. I was a big Hunger Games fan. Obviously, that all was adapted really quickly. And some of the adaptations don't work well, like the Percy Jackson.
Yeah. I thought of one now.
Okay, go ahead.
It's already been done twice that I know of, but the only series that I like actually read as a kid and went through the entire thing in like a few days, the Lemony Snicket Series of Unfortunate Events.
Oh yeah,
but the show's great. They did it so well.
The show's good, but I want it to be done in a film correctly, like well.
Who would you have direct that?
I have no idea.
You know who I think could randomly direct that really well?
Wes Anderson would kill it.
I was going to say that. Wes Anderson.
You know who else I think could do it if they're on it? And I know they've been kind of fumbling a little bit. Taika.
Oh, Taika could do that. Would be very interesting because of the humor in the book.
Yeah,
it's dark humor.
It's dark humor. I think he could do it if he's on his game. It depends.
The thing is, like, I see the visual of it being more Wes Anderson, but then like the dialogue and the writing may be a little bit more Taika.
Yeah. I also see like Tim Burton.
Yeah, the Netflix show is a lot of Wes Anderson. A lot. It takes a lot of inspiration from Wes Anderson. That's why I love the show. Gotcha. And yeah, for me, so my book reading is different. So the way that I do it is if I see a film is getting adapted, that's when I go, oh, I'm going to read it. Oh, I have something new to read. Yeah. So I think that's how I do it because I'm more film first. But when I find out something's getting, it was like that for Dune. When I found out Denis was doing Dune, I was like, oh my God, Dune. What is Dune? I got to read this. And I read it and I was like, holy crap.
And then you realize it inspired like a ton of sci-fi.
Yeah. And I was just like, oh my God. Yep. So yeah.
There's a question here. Favorite animated movies?
Oh.
Okay. Toy Story 2.
It's one of the best sequels of all time.
I have a hot take about the Toy Story movie that I think there's very few people who agree with me, but I love Toy Story 4. I don't care. I love Toy Story 4.
Toy Story 4 made me cry.
It did, bro.
Man.
It did.
So it's like, yes.
And this is why
haven't they all made us cry? Like 1, 2, 3, and 4?
Let me tell you this.
4 is actually
let me tell you why 4 is crazy. Every single one, it's about the kid. And it's about the kid growing up and like, you know, they're growing up and not needing the toys anymore and the toys having to find purpose with another person. Toy Story 4 is all about the toys having purpose on their own. And like, I get it, it's toys, but like, you know the characters and you love the characters. And then you see like them try to discover purpose on their own. And that is what did it for me. Toy Story 4 for me is a great film. People who hate on it, I'm like, come on, man. And I know, I get it. They dragged out, like it could have been a trilogy. Toy Story 3 was great. They could have ended it there. But I really like Toy Story 4. So, but there's a lot more that I like. Oh my God, somebody said a movie in here that I absolutely hate.
What?
A Bug's Life, bro. I can't stand A Bug's Life.
What? You don't like A Bug's Life?
I hate A Bug's Life.
I remember playing like the game or something back in the day, the video game.
You know what it is? I hate ants.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Okay.
I like A Bug's Life. It's good. What do you mean?
I hate ants more than spiders, bro.
Oh, stop it.
Really?
Yes, bro, because you know why? Because spiders, they do their thing. They chill in the corner. Ants, out of nowhere, you got 3 ants crawling on you and just all up in your shit. I hate it. Can't do it. Oh. Not a fan. And A Bug's Life just reminds me of how much I hate ants. That's just a personal thing. No hate. No hate. Sorry.
Oh my gosh.
What else are the animated movies?
I'm a big fan of The Incredibles.
Yes.
I think that's one, but you know,
yes.
I've gotten into a lot of anime films, Japanese anime, and I love A Silent Voice.
Oh, Davi showed me that movie. So good.
That one has marked me forever. I love A Silent Voice. I mean, you have Akira, you have Spirited Away, like you have those classics. You have Suzumi, which one that was released last year was great. Oh God, from the same director, I'm forgetting his noise, but Your Name, yes, Your Name. That was the one. Yes, Your Name is so good. But yeah, A Silent Voice is one film that
Coco and Emperor's New Groove.
Coco and Emperor's New Groove is great.
Great.
I'm getting roasted for Ants in A Bug's Life. It's fine.
And then also Across the Spider-Verse and Into the Spider-Verse is
those are all great.
Peak. Yeah.
Guilty pleasure one's Shrek. I love Shrek, bro. Shrek is so good.
The first 10 minutes of Up.
Oh my God. Up will ruin your life.
Is
so good. And Pixar just like, also one that doesn't get enough hype is Soul.
Soul they
so
re-released it in theaters this year to get it to give it a theatrical release
in a way that I was not expecting.
Yeah, but Pixar does that. Pixar has a way of doing that.
Yeah,
they really do. So like, I get it. I know people love How to Train Your Dragon.
One of the most underrated trilogies of all time. I know I've always say of all time, but I really think How to Train Your Dragon is a really underappreciated trilogy. And I'm interested to see how they're going to do the live action version.
Yeah.
I think the good thing is that the same director, same writers are returning. Oh, wow. WALL-E is great. I'm so sorry.
This man's dying out here.
I'm taking this man's literally
gasp for air and just dying out here.
I do give WALL-E a 4 out of 10.
Nah, WALL-E's good. It's a little on the slower side for me, but it's good. Oh, dude, you know what?
WALL-E is the only Pixar movie with a Criterion Collection. On the Criterion Collection.
What's it? Sorry, maybe I don't know. What's the Criterion Collection?
It's a Criterion Collection is a physical media company that like tries to
that puts like a 4K and
and they try to just
Blu-rays.
basically like restore the art of cinema. Like that's their whole thing is to preserve it. and they have Wall-E on the collection.
That's cool. They can keep it.
I can't believe Wall-E is fantastic.
I have one last one to mention. Back in the day, I used to love Ice Age.
Oh, you know what other one?
Ice Age was really
El Dorado.
Oh my God, we're forgetting one. We're forgetting one. Oh my God, we're forgetting one.
What?
The Prince of Egypt.
Prince of Egypt is great.
The intro to Prince of Egypt is like
Come
so
on.
fire. Top
Come on.
3.
I don't know if you guys seen the Prince of Egypt. It's faith based, but like it is insane. It is
really,
so
really
good.
And isn't that Hans Zimmer?
It is Hans Zimmer.
It's Hans
Yeah,
Zimmer's
Hans Zimmer
composer.
does the score.
My
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
The VeggieTales movies when I was a kid. That shit. I saw the VHSs.
Caleb said Rango.
Oh, Rango.
Rango, yes.
I know people really like Rango.
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Someone said here, what films or shows made you full on cry? Netflix's Midnight Gospel last episode had me sobbing, shedding tears like nobody's business. Okay, I'll say it right now because it's topical. Avatar: The Last Airbender, the original show, the episode, what's it called, Davi? Where Iroh goes to
Tales of Ba Sing Se.
Tales of Ba Sing Se. That shit will make you cry, 100%.
It is. Yep. That is a fantastic episode.
So good. Bro, I watch that show now and I get chills. I'm like, bro, this is a Nickelodeon show?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. I rewatched Shawshank Redemption
Yes.
It's a good one.
recently, and it was crazy. I was up really late. It was like 1 a.m. I was like, I'm not gonna sleep. So, so oh my God, that ending is just. It's so feel good.
Yeah.
It just.
One that got me when I was younger, Pursuit of Happiness. Will Smith,
Yes.
Jaden Smith.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So good, bro. That and where Will Smith just has that crying face. You know what I mean? Like that face that you cry and you just want to cry with him.
Yeah.
Like he has that in the back. That's a great one. Other ones that made me cry. Trying to think. After Sun.
Yeah.
After
Sun made me cry.
Yeah.
100%.
Interstellar, in the scene where he's watching back the videos over time of his
What about when he
kids.
sees Murph again?
Yeah, and when he sees Murph again.
Yeah, that were those hits.
But like that whole thing, like just the video diaries of them recording and like, you know, hoping that it'll reach their dad someday. Him watching that and like bawling his eyes out, that gets me every time.
Yeah. There's definitely some ones I'm forgetting, like for sure.
I mean, when I first saw A Silent Voice, I cried. It was ridiculous. Like I was absolutely bawling my eyes out. Jojo Rabbit is so good. Jojo Rabbit is.
One for me that people might hate on, but The Notebook. The ending of The Notebook for me got me.
Never saw it.
Bro, it's good. I think The Notebook's good. What else is here? Shawshank's amazing. Don't worry, he won't get far on foot with Joaquin Phoenix. Tore me up inside too. Your Name and Silent Voice both made me cry. Yeah, bro. There's a lot of tearjerkers out there. I don't know why I can't remember any off the top of my head right now. There's a
For
bunch.
me, it's weird. For me, it's always been animated films that have made me cry the most. I don't know. That medium has always just impacted me so much. And yeah,
Animated movies will do it.
like Coco. Oh my God, when he sings to his his abuela,
Bro.
he comes. Come on, bro.
Come
on.
Movie that I'll never watch again. I think it's Marley and Me. I'll never watch it
Anything
again.
involving dogs dying.
I'm good.
I'll
is
never
not
watch
good.
it again. Ever.
They should be outlawed. I'm not gonna lie.
I was so upset, bro. I was so upset.
Any movie where the dog dies, they should absolutely
Keep it.
Any of the Before
Keep it.
trilogies are the Before
Before
trilogy
Sunset,
movies are
yes.
very,
Mm-hmm.
very, very good. There's probably way more, bro, that I'm just not thinking of. But yeah, those
I
are
mean,
good ones.
for me, I just cry when I see good cinema. Like,
that
I just get emotional watching good cinema. Like,
Joel. Me too. I'll cry at anything. Like,
yeah.
It depends. Lately hasn't been hitting as much, to be honest. Like some of these movies, but it tends to be the older movies for me that gets the tears.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Older films will do it for sure.
Yeah.
100%.
The Perks of Being a Wallflower made me absolutely sob.
That's a great one.
Yep.
That
That's
was
a great
one. Yeah.
When I first watched it, first time I ever watched it, Good Will Hunting made me cry.
Iron Claw, yes.
Iron Claw,
yeah.
obviously.
Iron Claw.
Yeah, we talked about that already.
Yep. Honestly, I just walked out of the theater like depressed for Iron Claw. I was just like, I don't know what to say.
Shelby Jordan says the scene, I think this is supposed to be The Sixth Sense, when the kid is talking to his mom in the car about his grandma. I absolutely lose it every time. Yeah. That was great. All right.
Alrighty.
Are we getting into Dune?
We are getting into
get
Dune
into
Part
Dune,
2.
So
Okay, the way we're gonna do this. So I know that you guys are still reading the books, and I don't want to keep comparing the book to the movie because I don't think that makes sense because you guys are still reading it, and I don't want to spoil anything that's in the book that was not in the movie. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna stay with the movie. But one thing I want to address first and just quickly say, for someone who's read the book, I think it was a fantastic adaptation.
Yep.
It was
very quickly before you get into that. I think we're going to do a part that's non-spoiler.
Yes.
And then we are going to do a part that gets into some of the more nitty-gritty.
So you know what I'll do? You guys can
stuff.
keep talking. I'll put like a text on here,
something, yeah,
saying that it's spoiler free, and then I'll.
If you haven't seen Dune Part 2 or Dune 1, that's okay. You can stick around for now because we're not going to be spoiling anything, but there will be a part where we do talk about spoilers. So we'll put a warning and we'll put it text on the screen to be respectful. I hate spoiling things to people. I hate when things get spoiled to me. So we will be mindful of that. Sorry, David. Get back into what you're saying.
But first, I want to say, go see this movie on IMAX. If you still haven't seen it, go see it on IMAX.
100%.
Please go see it on IMAX, y'all. Please.
And go watch Dune 1 if you haven't.
Yeah, if you haven't seen Dune 1, go see Dune 1. But I know people may ask from the adaptation perspective. What I'll quickly say is I thought it was a fantastic adaptation in terms of keeping the spirit and the themes of the book and translating that to live action was done, I think, really well. And when it came to the third act, reading it versus seeing it was insane. Because when I first read it, I was flying through it, and it felt like it felt like it was going by really fast. And I think the same thing happened in the film. And I think that was a critique that we got. Some people were saying, "Oh, the third act wasn't as good because it was really fast or this or that." But I'm like, nah. But I feel like in the spirit of the book and the way that the book was written, it was that fast while reading it as well. But man, what a film!
What a movie, bro!
What a film, guys! What a film! But just quickly, I want to start with Abe. What, these are films where we talk about the movie going experience. We talk about what this actually means and seeing the film in theaters. So I just want to know what it was like for you seeing it in theaters. What was the experience like coming out of that?
Yeah, so to me, Dune is one of those movies that, I heard a lot about, again, we weren't around in the times of Star Wars and Lord of the Rings, which I think were two of the biggest like movie going events where people like went to the theater. I think another one that you can put in that category is Avatar, where people are like excited to go to the theater because of the sheer scale of what is going to be put on screen, the story, whether it was adapted from something that people really like, or just in general, there's a lot of hype about it, right? And for me, that was Dune. Like when even Dune Part 1. And the reason why Dune Part 1 was huge for me was because I love Denis Villeneuve. Like I'm obsessed with his work. His direction is some of the direction that I value like highly. I think it's safe to say he's my favorite director, period, point blank. And I was so freaking excited because the first time that I went, bro, to the first Dune, my like jaw was on the floor. Like I couldn't stop. Just like I couldn't even think. I couldn't say anything after. Like it was just an incredible movie going experience, and it was one of those things where you can just sense everybody around you is having an amazing time. It's one of those things you look around the theater and you see other people reacting to it, and it's like, bro, we are witnessing something. Like you're witnessing something that is an event, and it's one of those things that you could potentially tell your kids like down the line that you witnessed, right? So it was cool to be a part of that. I'll talk about my experience watching it for the first time. As of the time of this recording, Davi and I have both seen it 3 times. There was an early fan screening on Sunday. We went to that in our IMAX, like half hour away from us. That's like 500 people, dual laser, 4K. And that was incredible. That format was incredible. And then we have a closer IMAX that's not dual laser. And it was still incredible. But the first, like when I first watched this movie, I was sitting there and I was like, I just know it's gonna be good because I've been seeing the reviews, right? Like you see the people come in and talk about like, oh my god, this is amazing. Like this movie is incredible. This movie is like next level. Like comparing it to Star Wars, comparing it to like these movie going experiences that we had seen that we were obsessed with. And here's what I said, right? I recorded a review, I haven't put it out yet. I was sitting there and the movie was going by. The pacing was like so quick, bro. Like so quick. And I never look at my phone in theaters, ever. My girlfriend had my phone next to me. I pick up my phone to look at the time. And I didn't do that because the movie was dragging. I did it in the way that I describe it is, you know, when you wake up and you have more time to sleep, like you see your phone and you're like, oh my God, I still can sleep a little bit. That's what it was. I was like, I still have an hour and a half of this that I can enjoy. Like I still have more time. Like that is what that experience was for me. Like I was only looking at the time to see like how much more left of this world that I still had to consume. And it really is, to me, the most unique experience that I've ever had. It is an incredible movie, and I recommend to every single person that watches it. And two other caveats that I'll say is, I'm not a massive sci-fi person. I am not a massive like epics person. I'm not a massive action person. Like these guys know, action movies not my thing. Don't care. I'm gonna get hate again. I don't care about Mission Impossible. Couldn't give a shit. The Bond series, couldn't care. Like it doesn't matter to me. Any of those movies, it doesn't matter. But like when you do something so well that you have no choice but just to experience it, that for me does it. And that's what Dune Part 2 did.
Man, the experience, right? You know, I when we were talking about people saying, oh, it's the next Lord of the Rings, oh, it's the next this, it's the next Star Wars. Is it valid to say that? And why do you think people are saying that?
It is. So I go back and forth on this because I'm like, I don't want people to ruin the experience for people by comparing it so much, right? Because it's not fair to the movie, and it's also not fair to the other movies. You know what I mean? Like these are truly unique experiences, and they don't have to be consistently compared, because comparison is the thief of joy, right? Like the more you compare things, the more you just end up critiquing it and whatever. But when you think about like the hype and the scale and just like what we are seeing on screen, you understand why people are comparing it to that, because truly like the visuals and like Hans Zimmer score and like all that stuff, I like have never seen anything to this level that has just like captured me 100%. And I think that's what people will compare it, like seeing Star Wars for the first time. Like I remember my girlfriend's dad talked to me about seeing Star Wars for the first time in theaters, and he told me that he watched it. Jaw was on the floor the whole time. It was like incredible. Everybody was like, what the hell am I watching? Like, this is insane. And then this man hid in the theater because he wanted to watch the next showing. he got to watch the next showing that way. And I was like, bro, I want to do that for this movie. If there was another showing, I would do the same thing. And crazy. Yeah, that's the level of commitment that, bro, I don't rewatch movies like that. I've seen it 3 times in a week. That should tell you like how much this movie is like incredible.
What's so special about Denis' direction versus other blockbuster films? What makes Dune so different with the blockbuster films that we've gotten today?
Oof. That's a really good question. I think Denis is all about also like capturing narrative and characters and eliciting emotion, and for you to like truly be empathetic to the character. Like that's one of the things that's one of the things that I think he does very, very well. And that's one of the things I think he did in Arrival very, very well. The other thing that I attribute to Denis is he gives the story exactly what it needs and no more, no less. And I know that some people like David love really, really long movies.
Yeah, I love. So a thing about Denis is that he's not about, extended cuts. That's not him. He
deleted
scenes, directorial cuts. That's not what he likes to do.
Nope.
And for me, I'm like, damn, like you're not going to show him 4 more hours of this film? Because I know you have it. I know it's there, right? But for him, he's all about, the cut that's shown in theaters is the final cut of this film.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of respect for that because, there's sometimes where studios and producers do not allow, the director to fully visualize the work that it's done, right? Like Ridley Scott with Blade Runner, right? There's like 5 different cuts for that film, right? So
Snyder Cut Justice League.
the Snyder Cut Justice League, correct, right? So to know that Denis is coming in with on his press conferences and saying like, yo, this is the final cut. This is my cut. This is what you are going to get. You know, as an audience member coming in, this is what he wants exactly for you to see.
Yep.
So, you know, I come in more like, damn, I want more. But, you know, you're happy because this is the way he intended for this film to be seen.
Yep. And the way that I describe his direction, I think, is a really good example of this specifically is Arrival. Because we talk about 2 films that have a lot of really great impact and 2 amazing directors you can't dispute. Interstellar, Christopher Nolan, and Arrival from Denis. 2 very different movies. Interstellar's runtime is
2 hours and 48 minutes.
right. Warranted. There's a reason why it is that. Yeah. Arrival is just under 2 hours. Yeah. What Denis accomplishes in 2 hours in itself in that movie is a feat. For you to build this world, understand what's at stake, develop attachment to the characters, care about what they're doing, care about where they're going and the outcome, and wrap it up succinctly to the point where you're like, holy shit, in under 2 hours, to me, bro, that's incredible filmmaking. And what he did with this movie, like the fact that he did it under 3 hours, I don't think there's another director who could do that and would do that. Like, I think based on the scale of the story and how much there is, just such a dense source material, that you could easily go at over 3 hours. But that's the one thing that I really like about him is he's like, I will do what the story needs and no more. And like, I won't attribute anything else to this other than what I think is absolutely necessary. And that is what I really appreciate about his filmmaking. It's like, it's not minimalist, but it's very like, there's no real good word for it I don't have a good word for it, but like just exactly what it needs. That's what I really like about him.
Just starting with, you know, performances. What performances stood out to you? I mean, this cast is insane, right? You have Rebecca Ferguson, Timothy Chalamet, Zendaya, Javier Bardem, Dave Bautista. Like the list goes on. Christopher Walken. Like this cast is
insane.
It's insane. So I'm just wondering, like, is that what made this film even better, or you know what?
Yes, I will I'll look into the camera for this one because I'll go off of the one person that you didn't say in terms of performance is Austin Butler.
Austin Butler. Yeah, sorry.
No, but I'm glad you didn't say it because this man has been getting so much disrespect in the past. When did Elvis come out? 2 years?
Yeah.
At this point? So much disrespect. I understand it was a meme kind of thing. He did the Elvis voice and it became kind of his personality because he was method acting. I get all that. I didn't like Elvis the movie because I have problems with Baz Luhrmann in general in his direction, but I loved him as Elvis because you can see the dedication that he has towards a character, and him as Fade Rotha in this movie, dog, he killed that shit. He killed that shit. Like every time he was on camera, he stole the show for me. And the second that he came on screen, and then he left screen, I was like, bring him back. Like, when is the next time I'm going to see this man? Because everything that he did, the mannerisms, the way of speaking, which I think there's been some debate about, but I actually like the way he did it. And just everything that he did, every little motion was calculated. And I think he brought so much to the movie and so much to that character with actually pretty limited screen time. I think that's one thing that people will argue maybe Fade Rotha could have gotten a little bit more in this movie. But, bro, I think with what he did and what he had to bring to the character, he absolutely killed it, and I don't think anyone could have done it better, personally.
I just want to know your thoughts as Timothy Chalamet as Paul, because you know a lot of the criticism that people have had about Timothy Chalamet is like, can he like sustain a very serious role like Paul? Can he actually come in and do something like this? And you know when it comes in from part 2, you know there's a big, you know, stuff goes down, right? Yep. And I just want to know. You know, I believe the highlight for this film was him, 100%. You know, because what he showcases in terms of the narrative is nuts. I just want to know what you thought about his performance.
Bro, he's incredible. And let me just say this about Timothy Chalamet is another kind of rant. I think he's is similar to Austin Butler. He gets like weird hate and he gets put in this box. And I think it's because of like pop culture and, you know, his relationship with Kylie Jenner. He's just this like People I think classify him as like this kind of e-boy thing that like all the girls are obsessed with and blah blah blah, and whatever. And I don't think some people have not treated him like the serious actor that he is. The dude is incredible, bro. To me, he's our generation's Leo. Like, he is going to be that for me, in the sense of that, like, he has so much range and can play so many different roles, and every time that he's on screen, he's captivating. Mm-hmm. Like, to me, that is the mark of an incredible generational actor. And what he did in this movie, it shows that. It's just another example. So to me, it's just confirming things that I already knew. However, there were some scenes in this movie specifically, one scene in particular, that I was like, brother, they're not even speaking English in it. And I'm like, bruh. it was insane.
Yeah. Do you think that him and Zendaya are truly like the Hollywood stars of this generation, where people are going to go to the theaters just to see them?
Yeah.
Doesn't even matter what type of movie it is.
Yes.
They're going to show up to see them.
100%. I think both of them have that kind of draw. And I think it's only going to grow. Like, it's not to the level yet of someone like a Leo or a Brad Pitt, because they transcend multiple generations, you know what I mean? Because they've just been around longer. And like, our generation also grew up with them and appreciated them in modern film, as well as some classics and things like that. But with these two, you can just tell that's where they're going. Like, that's where their trajectory is. There's no other way around it. Like, they will be that level of movie star. And it's well warranted, in my opinion. And I think that they will draw people in, and they will bring people to the theaters when they're in something. 100%.
Shelby said Abe hates action movies.
It's so interesting, man. It's not for me. It's not for me. I mean, like, I can appreciate good action when I see it 100%. But if we're going to like, and I know there's some really bad examples, but like any of like the more recent modern Godzilla movies, other than like Godzilla -1, that was a great film. I have no interest in seeing like anything that's like blowing up things on screen. Like, I really like.
Yeah, you're not a fan of like Jason Bourne type, John Wick.
No, I do appreciate John Wick, but bro,
because John Wick is different. Like, it's on another level.
It is, but this is the thing. I'm so sorry.
Keanu Reeves can't act.
He cannot act, bro. This man cannot act.
Yeah, like, I had the same opinion.
I swear to God, this man is reading off a cue card.
I haven't seen the newest John Wick, but John Wick 2, 3, I was like, bro.
John Wick 4, and this is how good the action was. Like, that is what kept me in the movie. Is like the action in that movie.
That's why the posters here is because like the movie's still great, even though it has an actor that
he barely speaks. He doesn't speak. He
just grunts all the time.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
That is the shit that, bro. And I was like, there's just no way. I can't do it. So mad respect to Keanu Reeves, because he does like all his stunts, as far as I'm concerned. Like, he's really committed to those sorts of roles. The brother can't act, and that's all right, bro. The brother can't act. That's fine. You're talented at other things. Thank you, Shelby. Like, it just is what it is.
Yeah. Going back to Chalamet and all that, Toyota Chevrolet, whatever people call them, bro. So I had mentioned this in our discussion after Dune Part 1, and I was like not fully convinced that he needed to be the person playing Paul Atreides. Like, I felt like they could have given that role to anybody else or a no-name actor, and I feel like I would have maybe gotten more out of it. But like you said, in this movie, I felt a little bit of the same in the beginning, and then it got to a certain scene in the movie where he has like basically like a monologue that I was like, bro, he did it. He did the thing.
He's him.
He is Paul Atreides. He's convinced me. Done.
1000%.
So respect to Shyamalan for doing that. And
Timothy M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah, him and Zendaya have a lot of on-screen chemistry, like very, very good. Mm-hmm. That storyline is crazy. We'll probably get into that in a bit once we get into spoilers. But what blows me away about that movie is looking at the budget.
Bro.
And then looking at what you see on screen.
Yes, let's talk about this.
And then I look at like something like The Marvels, which had like double the budget.
Bro.
I just don't know. I don't know how he did it.
Someone need, like, and I'm so glad
with
you
the
brought this up.
star-studded cast and everything. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's had 185 million.
Yeah, so I need to like if there's a class on like the finances of filmmaking, I would love to take it because I just don't understand when I see things like Everything Everywhere All at Once and the budget that movie had and what it accomplished visually with VFX and everything. Like, how do you have that? And then you have a movie that I like, by the way, the most recent Hunger Games adaptation, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, I think is the name of it.
Mm-hmm.
There's some CGI things in there, brother, that I was like, dog, if I had 2 hours of After Effects training, I could do this shit. Like, that is how bad. And the budget is more than something like Dune.
Yeah. So here, the thing though is VFX or CGI is extremely expensive in Hollywood, especially when you have companies like Marvel, who I would say is like probably one of the biggest clients in Hollywood, asking for CGI stuff to be done from these. So
People could just mark it up because the demand is that much.
Well, yeah, it's that and the turnaround time. So like Marvel, how they're pumping stuff out, they basically will go to an editing house that provides, VFX work, and they're like, I have 10,000 frames of CGI needs to be done, and I need it done within like 4 months or something like that. And so that has been putting a lot of pressure on the VFX workers and leads to lower quality work.
Interesting.
Because they have to turn it around very quickly. But then that's why it's so important when you have directors like Nolan or Denis, where they want to blend practical and visual effects, like computer generated effects, and morph it to make it look very realistic. I think that's where things work well, instead of relying heavily on CGI.
Nolan is almost an extremist in a sense, though, because he's like, if I can do it without visual effects, I'm not.
Right, exactly. Like he basically dropped a nuke for Oppenheimer, right? Without it being a nuke, but he replicated the mushroom cloud of a nuke. But
this is a good. Do you guys?
They don't
know
have
this?
a union. They don't.
Am I wrong? Or VFX artists, one of the groups in cinema, don't have a union? That says no.
I don't think they do.
Makes sense. And that's that piece that you brought up about contract houses that do VFX. I didn't know that, and that's a really good point because that happens in industries outside of the entertainment industry, right? Like people who manufacture, like this MacBook, people manufacture. Like Apple will have contract manufacturers in Asia who they give specs and designs to and say, hey, this is what I need, and they make this thing. And when it's something physical like this, like you can take your time and all that stuff, but when it's a visual product and it's something subjective with visual effects, like I feel like you can get into a lot of issues and trouble like that and quality problems, especially when you're in a time crunch to develop something. So I totally understand why now that makes sense. That the quality kind of sucks. In
my understanding of it too is like they're basically offloading a lot of that work, like none of it is internal, to the studio,
offshore,
or to anything. Yeah, so they'll work with a certain company, and then if a company's prices went up, they're gonna switch over and work with a different company that hasn't been, doesn't have the same track record as the other one, and then the quality keeps going down and down and down because they're cheaper. They're gonna get it done faster.
And this goes back to Davi's question of what is it about directors like Denis that make blockbusters different?
Well, it's the fact that you guys, it's not really that much of a spoiler. It's in the trailer. Sandworm. He's riding the sandworm.
Yep.
That was done practically, as far as I know.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. So they had him riding on something, and they were like whipping sand on him.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was done practically, and obviously in post you do some VFX stuff.
He was riding on something,
but like, bro,
and then they were just.
If you gave this movie to Disney, it would have been fully CGI'd.
That shit would have been horrible.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
it's so bad.
It's the combination of practical and CGI together, done well, that gives you the effect that's like, oh my god, this looks really good, and it'll stand the test of time. We'll watch this movie like 20 years from now and be like, yo, it still looks good.
But that's the thing about the point that I was going to make is they're not in this. I mean, of course it's a benefit, but like their whole point of why they make art is not the money. It's not that. So like them skimping out on VFX to save money, or trying to make something that appeals to the masses so that they can have as many people come to the theaters is not why they're in this game. Is to make the best possible film that they can. And that's why when these sorts of directors do blockbusters, it's special.
Yeah, but the problem with that is the way that the industry works now. The only way you're going to get to do it the way that Nolan and Denis do it is by solidifying yourself.
Yeah, if you're one of those directors.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just have any Joe Schmo pick up a movie. Like,
I hear you.
Have Warner Brothers give you a $200 million budget and go make Dune Part 3 type of thing,
I hear you.
And trust you. They can't. It won't happen.
I'm just to read a quick comment real quick. Sorry. Nato Kaiba says, loving these conversations. These are type of talks I wish I could have with friends. Yo, this is why we do this. A and B. I'm not going to give Charlie a heart attack here, but maybe there's something in the future we can have people call in. And we can have people, interact with us or voice. Charlie's going to slip my throat off camera because it's going to be like, this is so complicated. But
not really. It's doable.
So maybe that's something we can do in the future if people are interested in doing that, because we'd love to talk to people live too. Sorry for that break, but appreciate the comment.
Yeah, and staying with the visual effects things, I think one thing that makes Dune so successful is because it's a movie that was not filmed in the United States. It was filmed in a different country.
Yep. Where was it filmed, by the way?
I know they did Budapest.
Okay.
Forgot right now.
They filmed in Jordan or something.
Yeah.
The desert scenes. I forget. But like,
So they had a studio in Budapest.
Budapest, Hungary?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And like actually filming in the desert, stuff like that. Obviously, like they'll film on like sand dunes and stuff, and then in post probably like extend it way out to make it look vast. But
so it's Budapest, Jordan, Abu Dhabi, and Italy.
Yeah.
Wow.
The crew shot the desert and sand dune scenes in Abu Dhabi, while the rocky terrain was filmed in Jordan. In order to visually tell Frank Herbert's legendary tale, they had to bounce between locations.
That makes sense.
So yeah.
But that's how you do it, man. That's how you do it, because, or else you get a product like the new Avatar, Last Airbender, where like literally every single scene, like different location they go to, I can tell that it's like props built in front of the volume, the screen
Behind.
Yeah,
that's the whole problem. Like I have
Percy Jackson.
Yeah, Percy Jackson. It's the same thing. It's like you have to, especially for film, like cinema as a whole, you gotta shoot on location, in my opinion. Yeah. I think you could use the volume. Like Greg Fraser is all about the volume. He used it in the Batman as well. And I don't know if he used it for Dune. Maybe he did.
It's got to be a point where
there has to be a point where they used it. Yeah. But he's really good at using the volume. So you have to
pick your moments.
You gotta, you can't just entirely film a movie on the volume, in my opinion. But you can still use it and utilize it for really well.
In case somebody doesn't know, the volume is the big screen thing that they use for The Mandalorian, which is like super high res screen that they shoot in front of to make it look like they're on a certain location and whatnot. So yeah,
it's a modern day green screen.
Yeah,
basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he did cinematography for Mandalorian for season 1, and it looks so good.
It looked really good, and then after that, it started getting a little bit wonky, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but yeah, like in Avatar, it really bothers me because you can tell it's like, wow, you guys put like a rock here and then like a physical thing that looks like a rock here on this set, and then everything in the background is fake.
Yeah.
So yeah, but this is what differentiates the different types of filmmakers, is how much they're willing to push the boundaries and actually like go out on location, find the real deal, and try to make this world tangible.
Yep.
And the like you said, the world building in Dune Part 2 goes leaps and bounds beyond Part 1.
Yeah.
And
I'll just say this too, like VFX is important, and the way that practical and visual effects work is important because the more realistic it looks to us as audience members, it enhances the movie. It makes it look way better, right? And it doesn't take us out of the movie. It immerses us in the world. However, I think there's another layer of the actors. Like if you are using practical effects and you're on location and shooting that way, like you can probably get a better performance out of the actor because they can put themselves in that situation better than they could if they're just sitting in a screen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that part I think is also really important. So I appreciate when directors do that because I'm sure that goes into the thinking as well.
So I have a quote from Denis Villeneuve that has been making rounds on the internet. And we have, majority of our audience is from TV. A lot of them watch a lot of TV shows and have recommended great TV shows like The Sopranos.
Yep.
And I want to bring this quote for discussion, and I want people to chime in on what they think about this. And this is what he said. He's the director of Dune, Denis Villeneuve. If I could have made movies without any dialogue, it would have been paradise. Dialogue for me belongs to theater or television. I'm not someone who remembers movies because of their lines. I remember movies because of their images, because of the ideas that unfold through the image. That's the power of cinema. For me, it's not about dialogue. I hope one day I will be able to make a movie with as little dialogue as possible. That's why silent movies were so powerful, and still today. The best movies. Normally, a great movie, you should be able to watch it without sound, and that's the ultimate goal.
This man must love Dunkirk.
I understand what he's saying. I do, because I can relate to the fact that it to me the dialogue is secondary to the visual in the movie at first glance. Yep. Obviously, it's very important as well. Otherwise, you wouldn't get, like, I wouldn't have gotten that moment of believing Chalamet as Paul Atreides without the dialogue, the monologue that he goes off on. But the visuals is what solidifies the world, brings you into it, and has you lean in. Like, I literally saw people who were like leaned out of their seats, like leaned forward the entire movie watching, and like their hands like this because they were so immersed in the world. And that's why I think they push the IMAX medium and they get amazing cinematographers and invest so much on the visuals, is for that reason. Because I think visual, especially in today's audience, like how it's like, microwave popcorn generation,
with
the visual is
with
gonna
Subway
be
Surfers, and then on the bottom, and then the clip. Yeah,
the visual is going to be the first thing that catches your eye.
Yeah,
obviously, because you're looking at it. But yeah, and then sound.
Yeah.
So I, like I said, like I'll always remember the first impression I have of Dune Part 1, or the world in general, when Davi and I went to Limax to watch the first one. And it's the drum roll, whatever. And it's the score starting off. And then you get like the studio intro and all that stuff. Like, I got goosebumps immediately. And I looked over to him, and then it puts you into the thing, right? You have Zendaya's narration, and then you have like the sand blowing in the wind and all these nice visuals. And that's what
sets the tone for you.
Yeah.
So that's why I can understand what he's saying there, although I don't completely agree. Like, I don't want silent films.
No.
Like from the 20s and 30s or whatever the heck. I prefer talkies. So. But yeah,
and I get what he's saying.
The one place where I will agree with him, though, movie that has done what he's saying extraordinarily well is A Silent Place.
Oh yeah, that is very true.
So that's a movie that's like basically just
A Quiet Place.
Sorry, yeah, Quiet Place, not A Silent Place.
You should watch Dune.
Watch Dune. It's worth it. Yeah, A Quiet Place. It's like obviously quiet. It all relies a lot on sound design and visual cues, and so because of that, the movie is very effective.
Yep.
So that's the one defense I think that I can have
say for that.
towards the comment. Besides that, I don't 100% agree.
I will say this. I love Denis Villeneuve. I think he's an incredible genius. I disagree with him in this sentiment, but I can see where he's coming from, especially in the role that he has, right? Like, his job mainly is to make you visually like brought into this world and to make sure that you're immersed. And the two ways that you do that is through sound and visual. Like, those are the two main aspects of that. I think it's a little bit like, how do I say this? I think I don't like how he said people don't remember dialogue and people remember visuals, because if we ask right now anybody who is watching this to like say a line or something that stuck out to you, people can come up with stuff off the top of their heads. One of my favorite directors, I didn't mention any of the other movies that they do, is Quentin Tarantino. Quentin Tarantino's whole thing is dialogue that's like understated and things that make you feel like you're in a real life conversation that maybe like isn't completely central to the story, but bring you into it because it's very realistic. One of the things that you can talk about that is like Pulp Fiction. Like everyone remembers things like the Royale with cheese, like things like that. Like that sticks in my mind. Has nothing to do with the plot of the movie. Nothing. Those are the things that to me are still very valuable. And I think to say that dialogue isn't important, is a little bit extreme. And I can see why he's saying this also because today in the times that we're living, I think there's a lot of just like chatter and a lot of like dialogue and stuff that's meaningless and doesn't really leave a lasting impression. But to me, there's another piece of this that really, really is important is dialogue and visual go so well together. You can't have any of these things in isolation. Like to me, why an actor's performance is great is because of the line that was written, the delivery, the way they express themselves physically, and like the way it sounds. Like all of that is super, super important.
What Shelby said, I'll be back.
I'll be back. Exactly. I thought you were leaving the stream for
no. It's the most famous line.
1000%.
Like in movie history.
I'll be back. Or from Star Wars.
No, I am your father.
Yeah, no, I'm your father. Exactly. Like things like that are what people
say hello to my little friend.
Say hello to my little friend. Yeah, exactly. Classics. Yeah. Things that, and it's not, again, I get his point because it's not like a drawn out piece of dialogue that is memorable or anything like that. But dialogue, I think, is super central to story. And one of the most recent films I've seen this year that I think dialogue was super important was Anatomy of a Fall.
Yes.
The argument scene in that was written so well and so realistically.
It felt like you were watching a theater production.
Yes, 100%.
Like a Broadway show while watching it go.
And I think you can transmit that onto screen very well if done well and if you have really good writers. So that's my opinion. Doesn't take away anything from me with Denis because I think he is a film and visual purist in a sense. So I have to respect that.
Yeah, he's still better than me no matter what.
100%. What the hell do I know? What the hell do we know? I yap.
Yeah,
I'm a yapper.
He could make a silent film that I will probably fall in love with.
Potentially.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, and here's the thing, Denis. I'll also just say, I'm out here saying that I can't say anything to Denis, but I will say this. Like Dunkirk was an incredible film, and it was one of those movies that I think in the modern day has like the least amount of dialogue in like a war movie, right? A lot of it was visual and sound that carried the film. A lot of people criticized that. A lot of people criticized it, and they were like, there was no talking, like there was nothing in it that really like grasps you in terms of dialogue and characters and all that stuff. Yeah. So there's two sides to that. I think, and again, this is why art is so subjective. So that's my little rant. Still love Denis. I think he's a genius, so it doesn't really matter. But
I agree both, especially when both are done extremely well. I think holds you even like gets your attention even more and like gets you into the world even more. And I think the best example of that I've ever seen out of anything ever, like movie, TV, whatever, is Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Bro, I was about to say that. Yeah. I was about to say that.
Marvelous Mrs. Maisel has the visuals, like the colors are vibrant. It's well shot. There's swooping camera movements, like one
of the most expensive Amazon shows ever.
And the dialogue is so chaotic and incredible. Like, bro, but everyone is on top of their shit with the dialogue. It's so good.
It is insane because, with the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, you see Gilmore Girls, who's from it's from Amy Sherman Palladino. That's the showrunner. In Gilmore Girls, it's not as good as it is in Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. So you see the process that it took for her to get from Gilmore Girls all the way to the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, because I think Marvelous Mrs. Maisel is 50 times better than Gilmore Girls in terms of writing, in terms of direction, in terms of everything. So it's so cool to see the process of these filmmakers and how they get to that. They get to make this type of art and how they keep improving and keep, growing from what they've done in the past. It's truly incredible.
Yeah. No, I'm 100% with you. I think it's an art form and it needs to be appreciated as well. And again, like all of these like visual, sound, dialogue, all these things, they make together is what they do to bring movies better and to immerse you into the world. Any of these things on isolation can be too extreme and not bring you in. So to me, it's a perfect balance.
For sure.
Get to the chopper.
That's a great one.
Love it. Do we want to get into spoilers, or do we want to? I don't know.
That's a good question. I'm thinking now.
There's a lot to talk about. Maybe this could be a separate discussion.
It could, but
you guys have seen the movie 3 times. I've only seen it once. I do want to see it again
because
it's hard right now.
The
showtimes are all sold out.
Let's do this. I want to know, is Dune a masterpiece or not? And is this Denis' best work so far?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes and yes.
Yes. Bro,
yes and yes.
What did I say to you? People don't remember lines. What was the line that I said to you as soon as I finished watching?
Son of God.
Other than that, when I first went to the theater,
you got out of the Sunday showing.
Yep.
We went downstairs. We went outside. You said, you looked me dead in the, you looked straight in the eyes, and you said, that was the greatest movie I have ever seen,
and I think I will ever see.
Yeah.
Like I went.
You don't think anything will ever top that,
bro? It's really hard to imagine. It's really hard to conceive. Like,
sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but it's like, I still haven't fully digested it yet, and decide whether or not it's like the best movie I've ever seen or anything like that. But I did do one thing. I immediately went into my Letterboxd top 10 and added it to it. Right, it's within like the top 3, I think now. And I walked away from the movie, and the first thought that I had was, this made Star Wars feel like kiddie shit.
Dead ass, bro. I'm so sorry if we're about to get so much hate on this.
Like, I apologize if you're
so true
diehard Star Wars fan, but especially with how it's being run today, it made it feel like, I don't know, it made it feel like the knockoff.
Yeah.
Even though technically the movie for Star Wars was made first, but it was heavily influenced by Dune, right? So technically Star Wars is the copycat, not the other way around. But
What if we? Sorry, we're gonna get on the discussion. What if we just do light spoiler stuff? Like, we talk about specific scenes, and we don't talk about any like specific plot points that like reveals too much about the story.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like scenes that really stood out to us, things that were captivating, scenes that we really really liked, and things like that. But not so much the full story. What do you guys think about that? Unless you really want to dive into the spoiler stuff.
No, that's fine.
I think that's fine. I'm just going to change this to say potential Dune Part 2 spoilers.
Yeah.
For anybody joining late.
Yeah, I mean, quickly with Star Wars, I know you brought it up. I think it's a mess right now for sure. It's all over the place, and it's kind of like turned into what the MCU is today. Like it's you're trying to figure out what direction they're going to take it, but they have one good thing going for them, and I'm going to say it again. That is Andor.
Yeah.
That is Andor.
Andor.
I haven't.
Andor.
Who was recently that said is Star Wars for grown-ups? Was it Stellan Skarsgård?
Yeah, he plays the Baron in Dune Part 2.
Yeah, he said it's Star Wars for grown-ups. It was Andor. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone who hasn't seen Andor, I highly recommend.
Yeah.
Yes, and I 100% agree with you, Charlie. But I also feel like it's the source material, like that leads to Star Wars being more like kiddie shit, because Star Wars to me, in terms of the tone, is much less serious than Dune.
Yeah, it's very playful. It's more family
it's always
friendly.
been family friendly.
Yeah, it's much more family friendly.
Dune is very serious, very dark, and very much like
fate of the world, like heaviness.
And also it's criticism on religion. It's a criticism on society. It's a criticism on politics, everything.
Yeah.
Basically all the things that we believe in, it criticizes. It looks into it, and it tries to give you a lens from the outside.
Yep.
And it's crazy. It's so dense. The world is so dense.
So dense. And that's why, and this is why I'm like, bro, and I need to. I don't even know if I can do this because I don't know if I could sit through it. But I feel like I need to see the original Dune, just for comparison purposes.
No, it's
You're gonna
it's,
hate
it's
yourself.
kiddie. It's 80s.
Trash.
It's kiddie. That's literally I couldn't finish it.
Bro, this is the thing. Like,
It
to
hurts
be
to
able
watch.
to keep the tone of the movie and of the book, because I'm now starting to read the book, and you can sense like how deep it is and how serious it is. To be able to do that on screen and make it an enjoyable experience for people, and like accomplish everything visually, acting wise, like it's an incredible feat. It's an incredible feat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all right, we'll do some specific scenes that I love. I'm not gonna lie, a highlight for me, and also he's a highlight in the book for me. I really liked him. Was Javier Bardem as Stilgar. I love Stilgar in the book, just for what his character is. But holy crap, when I first read Dune, I wasn't expecting him to be a comedic timing character. I always thought he was very, very serious about the prophet, the Messiah, the prophecy, and it all goes down. But to have him every single time go, listen, Akaib, as written.
Yeah. I mean, the first movie he gave off the vibe of being like very serious, very like on top of his shit.
Yep.
And then the second movie, he becomes a little bit more playful, I guess.
Yeah. He's more playful, and also like I think another piece of the comedic timing is to him it's serious.
Mm-hmm.
Like it comes across as funny to us because I think it's a criticism on fanaticism.
Yes.
And like that sort of obsession with a person, a figure, like an ideology, like that is what I think the criticism was. And we laugh because I was like, this is like kind of ridiculous. But that is the part that I think they did really well in terms of the writing, was that it was able to be a comedic timing without compromising the essence of the story and the character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can't say because I hate
You don't
that.
want to spoil it.
I don't want to spoil it, but yeah,
100%.
There's just specific moments when reading the book versus watching it. What Denis does so well is that these characters in the book, they have these inner monologues, and they're their thoughts and what they're thinking. So you understand exactly what they're feeling in their perspective, but it's really hard to translate that into a visual medium like film. But what he did so well is through the expressions of these characters, where you could feel what they were thinking and what they were feeling. That is so hard to do and so hard to direct. Mm-hmm. It's like, how do you tell someone to be like, no, you're gonna have to do this, but you can't say anything. Show it through show it facially and body language wise. Like that is so hard to do.
Very, very hard. Yeah, Javier Bardem as Stilgar was dope casting.
Yeah,
he's a really good actor, man.
Yeah,
he's a really, really good actor. He's been around for forever.
He has.
He's an OG. The other, we already touched on it, but Austin Butler's character for me. And I'll talk about this too. We can talk a little bit about the adaptation changes. That doesn't spoil too much about the movie or the book. With the Harkonnens, my understanding is like the way that Denis imagined the Harkonnens was completely different than what they did in the book. In the movie, which if you've seen the trailer at all, you'll notice the Harkonnens are these really pale, bald figures, and that's just kind of like a trademark of their planet, their species. And I think it really created this like bleak and like terrifying, it really villainized them. I think they created a really good antagonist in that way. And that's what like first terrified me about the Baron. Like when I first saw that man like on screen, I was like, holy shit, like this thing is like insanely looks crazy.
Yeah.
Same with Dave Bautista's character as Beast Raban. And then Austin Butler's is just like next level. Like you take the look of like just straight villain with like psychotic behavior, and you marry the two, and it makes for a really good villain. And I think there's a discussion to be had because there's been a lot of chatter on Twitter and other social medias and headlines about this is the best villain since Heath Ledger's Joker, since No Country for Old Men, where Javier Bardem, if you forget the character's name, that was like one of the best villains of all time too. Personally, I'll give my opinion. I don't put it on that level because of screen time is why the conversation's a non-starter for me, because I don't think he had enough screen time to be put on that level. Like for me, Dark Knight is a Joker movie. Like it's
centered around him.
It's centered around him. He carries it. Anton Chigurh. That is the name of the Javier Bardem villain. That one is really, really held in high esteem in terms of villains as well. But to me, you need more screen time and more like being central to the story to be able to build that. And that is maybe one thing that you could potentially criticize with this movie. But again, I think in terms of the story, they did what they needed to do to make Fade Rotha, who's Austin Butler's character, effective in this movie.
Yeah, so you have a lot of different narratives happening at once in this film.
Yep.
And you have to also close it as well. So
because in the book they just jump back and forth.
It's like really back and forth, and it moves really fast. It's like how is this 1,000? It's not 1,000 pages. It's a really long book. Like how is this 600? How is this 600 pages?
Yep.
Bro, it is nuts. But I think in the way that Denis adapted it, I thought it was done well. But yeah, I think there's definitely things that get left out. There's definitely developments that get left out because of what the purpose of this story encompasses,
right? What
the themes of the story is. That's what he had to target, and I think that's what he did.
Yep.
And obviously, it sucks because you left being like, I want more. I need more of this.
But I honestly,
but not in a bad way.
No, not at all. Not at all. And that's the biggest change. Like for me, when I started reading the book, and I noticed, like, I think it was literally the second chapter, they talk about Fade Rotha. And I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, he's not in the first movie at all. And then you start to realize, like, and that's why it's really, I think, unfair to try to hold a film to a one-for-one adaptation to a book, because they're just completely different mediums. In a book, you have so much more license to jump between characters. You have the inner monologues. You have these, like, much more drawn out things that you can develop on pages where you can't on film, because you have to grasp people's attention and you have to make it move in on a good pace. And that's why I think it's somewhat, unfair for someone to say that it's not a one-for-one adaptation, so therefore it's not good. That for me is a tough conversation.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. For me, like I said, it was, are you going to stick to the themes and the spirit and the atmosphere of the book? Yes. That's what he did. That's why I thought it was a great adaptation. I hate sometimes when people go, oh, but he didn't include this, he didn't include that, he missed out on this, he missed out on that.
Yep.
So it's like, no, but there's reasonings to it, why he adapted it this way.
Yep.
I think for me, I think that's how I've seen it. And I think majority of people are seeing it that way. Some are upset with some things that were cut out.
Yep.
But yeah.
Can we also talk about the action and the fighting in this movie?
Yo, the
choreography and the fighting is serious, bro.
Very serious.
So damn good. Like, that was some of the stuff that me as a person who doesn't even like action like that, if I'm captivated, that's how you know. And like the first part for me, or the part that really got me, is there's a part where Beast Raban, who's Dave Bautista's character, gets confronted by Paul and like the Fremen army. Bro, that one, crazy. Where they're coming out of the sand and they're
yep, like doing a roll on the ground, like just slicing people in the middle of a sandstorm type of thing.
And let me just say this, bro.
Yes.
So many times I forget that this movie is PG-13.
Yeah, he pushed that rating to the max.
So
I can't believe they allowed. I can't believe they allowed the film to be PG-13. It is violent.
There's no like cursing or anything. But
no
violence.
It's violent, but it's not gory, and that's why.
Yeah.
But like in terms of the violence and the action, I think they do a really good job of doing that, and I'm glad they made it PG-13, because PG-13 just means it's potentially more accessible. But then again, like, it doesn't mean anything, because Oppenheimer is rated R, and that movie made $1 billion.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't really mean anything. But still, the action in this movie was incredible. That scene, the fighting scene where they're on Gady Prime with Austin Butler as Fade Rotha, the introduction of that, the way that it switches to black and white, and the reason why, so far.
Black Sun. It's just.
Is that in the book, by the way?
The Black Sun?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But it doesn't specify that you can't see color, or does it?
Not that.
You don't have to look it up right now. But that was a really, I thought it was a really good choice, really cool choice. And then the final fight scene,
fire,
really good.
Not a heavy spoiler, but the final fight scene in this movie has no score, and I think that was the perfect decision, because there's so much tension built up in that moment, and you just have to sit there with the sound of the visual of the fight, and it just generates like incredible anxiety. I think even more so than if they put like a really like anxiety inducing like score or piece of music behind it.
Right. The only other thing I want to mention on it, for both films, for me, the person that stole the show is Rebecca Ferguson.
Yeah, she's
for me personally.
She's
her
insane.
character is so well written. It's incredible. And in this movie, they just elevate that to a whole nother level. And she is menacing, bro.
Yeah,
it's crazy to see.
in the book. She's
different.
If you read the book first, I'm pretty sure you would put Lady Jessica as your favorite character because she is so dense. There's so many layers to her, and how she operates. A lot of people love her. A lot of book readers love her. So it makes sense how she translated really well on screen. And casting Rebecca Ferguson, what a great cast,
bro. The whole sequence of her. I'm not gonna spoil it, but that
you could just say the water of life.
Yeah, the whole water of life sequence.
Yeah.
Oh my god, and everything that comes after that. Her performance is crazy, so good.
Anytime she uses the voice too, I'm like, oh my god.
Oh, the voice is elevated to another level in this movie.
So crazy.
It like had me jump scared. Like,
and on that note, bro, like I think to me in this movie, the visuals are one thing. I think sound is right there with it. Like in terms of what captures you and what the highlight is, because the sound in terms of the score, in terms of when they use the voice, in certain scenes where they have to accentuate something because of sound, it blows you out of the water.
And also, what he did differently from part 1 and part 2 was the change in color palette. This film has an insane color palette.
It does.
Like just for the opening scene alone, you're like, whoa,
it's like
okay,
really tint of orange. That's like,
oh my. But you knew when it opened, you're like, yeah, this is gonna be fire.
Yeah,
as soon as the film starts, you're like, oh, okay, yep, we got a banger.
100%.
Sorry,
what do you guys think of Christopher Walken as the Emperor? Just curious. Any strong opinions or anything that you thought?
No, he did what he had to do.
Thing?
Yeah, he did his thing.
I think they the Emperor was not the villain of this movie, right? So like they played him down a bit. He didn't really have much of a
arc
role.
Or a role. Yeah, sure.
The villain really is Fade Rotha and the Baron still,
and potentially Paul. Depending who you ask.
Depending on who you ask. Okay. I don't know how deep we can dive into this, but I want to ask this question.
Okay. See how much we can dance around it.
We can dance around it. So, coming from a faith background, there is a lot of religious criticism in this film, and it's revealing towards many different narratives. And I'm just wondering, like, is it more of just a criticism of religion, or is it bashing religion?
Ooh,
that is a great question. I had light thoughts about it throughout, but I didn't really dive too deep into it yet. I think I need a second watch. You guys have seen it 3 times, so you've digested that a lot. So
I think it's a very well thought out criticism. I think it can be taken as bashing depending who you are. And even within the movie, the characters, depending on what side you are, you can take it as bashing or criticism or whatever. To me, it's really like religion is the vehicle, but fanaticism is really where the criticism lies. Like idolatry. Yes. Like that is the point that I think is the biggest thing here. And not just like, people think about idolatry as like worshiping statues. Like, no, holding something in your mind so high that it becomes the end all be all and the purpose of your life and the only thing that, you believe in. And I think that is a dangerous thing in real life. I think we've seen that with political figures in the past, not just here in the United States, but like all over the world, you see it. And to me,
that scared the shit out
scared
of
me.
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
But I don't know what it was. It's a notification of something. But keep going. I'll find out what it was.
I think that criticism is valid, because the way that sometimes people blindly follow and people hold up something like the most important thing is can be really dangerous, especially in politics, especially when you are relying on somebody, one person, to absolve you or lead you to paradise or make your life better. I think that's what, like, the way that people view politics now is like very partisan and very like, it's about this person and this is why this person is going to make things great. And that's kind of what the movie shows you. But in reality, we all know that's not how it works. People are imperfect. People lie. People cheat. People steal. People have bad motives a lot of the time. And I think that is very much shown in this story, that, really be careful where you place your fanaticism. And there's a difference between respect and idolatry and like leadership and dictatorship. Like those are the things that I think was more of a criticism on. I think religion was really the backdrop for
what set the tone.
Yes.
And then allowed other narratives to come in, other themes to
and
play
what,
a role.
Yeah, and what I really appreciated about this is, to me, the bigger backdrop is politics, because, not to spoil much, you know this right from the beginning if you watch the first movie. The Bene Gesserit are what dictate politics in this world. And the religion that's here, the Bene Gesserit have a very big hand to play in that. And I think that it shows in politics today. Like, religion becomes a vehicle for how people play politics, and that becomes very dangerous. So to me, it's a really valid criticism. And if you look at the parallels of Dune, if you take away, the science fiction elements of it, and you really look at the symbolisms and the story and, the religious aspects of it, it really shows you like accurate, descriptions and depictions of what we have today going on.
Yeah, exactly.
We missed a notification. Sorry. Legrand Azakir just subscribed. Thank you very much for subscribing.
Thank you for the subscription.
Awesome. The sound caught us so off guard.
Yeah.
It was really loud in our ears and it scared the crap out of us. So apologies for that.
Yeah.
Thank you for subscribing. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
I definitely agree with you, Ray, but you're in saying that it was the vehicle that set off multiple themes to be shown. Like, for me, the fundamentalism narrative played in this film was done really well.
Yep.
I won't go into it more, but it's just what you said was perfectly, I think, summarizes what we're missing in blockbuster films in terms of depth, in terms of layers, in terms of criticism of message. That is what we need. And because then we can take those messages and go home and really, analyze from our personal life, what we go through and how we see different issues that are prevalent in today's time.
Yeah.
Right. And I think Dune is a film that will make you look at a lot of global conflicts, also conflicts in your own country, and analyze it and see, is there some parallels here and there? I think that's what makes this film so great.
Yeah. 1000% agree with you.
And with that being said, I just want to know, since you guys said it's a masterpiece, is this a 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10?
1000%. I put it on Letterboxd 5 out of 5. As soon as I got it. Isn't it the highest rated on Letterboxd, period?
Right, it's at 4.6 on Letterboxd right now. Is it the highest rated on Letterboxd?
No, it's the highest rated on IMDb.
Highest rated on IMDb.
What's the highest on Letterboxd? I want to know.
I'm not sure, but something tells me it might be Everything Everywhere All at Once or something like that. But
I have it right here.
I thought 4.6 was the record. I didn't know it was
really?
any higher
That
than
seems
that.
a little low.
Bro, Letterboxd, it's polarizing. It can be polarizing.
The highest rated film on Letterboxd is Harakiri. It is a 1962 samurai film. 4.7.
Oh, okay. So it's literally 1.1 off of the highest rated.
And then the second one is Come and See, which is sitting at 4.6, which is a Russian World War II film.
That movie that you just said, how many reviews does it have?
This has 49,000 5 stars.
Dune already has more than double that.
Dune Part 2 has 161,000 5 stars.
Brother. Yeah. That's next level. Next level.
But with that, yeah. All right. So I want to quickly, before we end the stream, I want to quickly go over some Davi film news that I wanted to share with you guys.
Okay.
that I think is cool. So the Oppenheimer effect is in play right now, where since the 70 millimeter IMAX 1:43 ratio became mainstream again, and everyone was trying to get a ticket for that showing, IMAX is currently developing 4 new digital IMAX cameras that can do 1:43 and are actually lighter and easier to carry. So I think that will be great for the future of cinema, where we'll see maybe more films shot on 1:43 and also more theaters upgrading to a dual laser projector.
That's very hopeful of you.
And a prototype just came out. This is what it looks like.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so that's cool.
We're gonna buy one for the podcast or for the channel.
Yeah, if you want to pay 3 mortgages.
Cameras are probably so damn expensive.
But also, I know we got quick because we're almost what. My God,
2.5 hours in.
2.5 hours. I just
yap if you couldn't
I just want to give some box office numbers for Dune that just released this afternoon.
Okay.
Dune Part 2 crushed industry projections like the Fremen did to the Imperium, with the film starring Timothée Chalamet and Zendaya grossing a strong $81.5 million on 3-day opening weekend at the U.S. box office, near Oppenheimer's $82.5 peak summer debut, more than 2 times 2021's Dune Part 1 $41 million opening. A spectacular jump from pure Friday to Saturday, and a strong hold on Sunday, showing that the strong word of mouth is already showing its power flowing among audience like spice. Best opening weekend in both Denis Villeneuve's and Timothée Chalamet's career. Biggest opening for a pure adult sci-fi in the last 20 years. Only Matrix Reloaded did better with $91.8 million on summer 2003.
Wow. Holy crap.
Almost half of grosses came from IMAX or premium format screens. With those premium screens already, with several future showings sold out or about to all the way, with those premium screens already sold out, future showings already almost packed through the end of March.
Oh my God, bro! I gotta get my ticket for like
strong
the 4th
legs.
time.
So strong legs, similar to Oppenheimer, and could be a reality even for Dune Part 2. It will face many more newcomers and competition throughout spring. And yeah, Dune Part 2 might indeed become Oppenheimer's heir as king of IMAX. The Dune sequel grossed $32.2 million on IMAX alone, worldwide.
32.2. Wow.
And
on IMAX alone.
And
On
we're only on day 3.
we're on day 3, yeah,
Day 4.
which is
The
absolutely
early fan
insane.
screenings.
Yeah, that was very limited, but yeah,
Yeah, the early fan screenings did 2 million. But yeah,
it's wild.
Oh no, but Thursday. So day 4 anyway.
Yeah, the Thursday night is also pretty limited, but yeah, same thing.
oh, and then
I was
the
looking at showtimes and I can't find anything. So
Awesome. Gonna have to settle for IMAX
and the
or AMC.
hell no.
and the world and the worldwide projection for the total worldwide is 178.5 million, versus Oppenheimer did 180.4 million opening weekend.
So I'll get to watch it in 2025. Yeah, if they keep putting it in IMAX. No, literally, just find an IMAX. Go.
Even if it's Limax, just go to one.
Even if it's the 3 a.m. showings that they're doing in New York.
In
right
New
now.
York, yeah, they're doing 3:15.
That's what I'm looking for. Is the one on the Times Square one?
Lincoln Square,
right?
yeah.
13. So
Mhm.
Dude, those are insane.
all the IMAX screenings for today gone. Dolby last showing is at 10:30. That one's got a lot of seats still, but it's early. It's early in the day.
Damn.
What is laser at AMC?
It's just a 4K laser projector.
Okay.
But it's not IMAX.
It's not IMAX, no. It's
Interesting.
Mhm.
Okay, that one's pretty available, but they don't have super crazy showtimes anymore. It seems like.
Gotcha.
yeah. The only
late
crazy
night.
one is the 3:15 a.m.
I think that was probably only for like the launch day.
No, they're still doing it
No,
in
they're
New
still
York.
doing it.
They're running it.
I didn't see it right here on Lincoln Square. The latest showing on here is 11:30 p.m.
So if you go to the next day, it'll show.
Because it's technically not today.
Yeah,
I see.
it should be able to show.
That's crazy. I have to scroll all the way back down to the thing, but yeah, that's wow,
Yeah,
crazy.
Insane.
yeah. I saw an article where someone went and did and then released an article about it.
I saw somebody coming out of it on TikTok. Just sun is up. It just came out and it's sunrise. That's crazy.
I don't even know how you do that. Like, do you sleep? Do you not sleep?
I think you just have to have the day off, and then you just
it's New York City never sleeps, bro.
Yeah,
true.
Mm-hmm.
True that.
But wow, y'all, thank you so much for tuning in for 2 hours and a half of this discussion.
Yeah.
If you guys like this, we will continue it on a monthly basis. We'll come in, we'll chat, and we'll just have fun and get to know you guys more. We love you guys, and thank you so much for watching this discussion and also being a part of this discussion. And soon, Tony Tuesday on Tuesday.
Yep, indeed.
We love you guys. Stay beautiful. Peace, guys.
See ya.